movie podcast ever recorded, and today we found an amulet in a dusty old cave. I said the words, basically. We're going. It's John Carter time. Woo! I immediately thought of Evil Dead and Army of Darkness when he had to say the words to go back, and he's like, I basically said the word Klaatu, Ferrata.
Yeah.
Necktie.
Barsoom. Or Jassoom.
No, when you do like that, it brings Mars to Earth, and that's really bad.
Oh, yeah.
It crashes right into
I
it.
should have paid more attention. What was Mercury and Venus called?
It's a moonfall situation. Remember moonfall, right?
yes.
To just pull
We got to
Mars.
turn the thrusters off, and we'll fall into the moon.
This would have been an amazing movie if it was made in 1912.
It would have been.
Yeah.
People would have really been thrilled about. Well, this is John Carter is about as old as that, isn't it?
I looked up. Well,
Okay.
IMDb helped me out.
All right. What is the book has been around for? I think the book's in public domain.
This was a book?
This book was written in 1912
I can't
by
read.
the
I
same
don't read
guy, Edgar Rice Burroughs, who was the character that the dude in the movie.
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah.
that name? But
Okay.
Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote another super famous story.
Okay.
And it involves a man swinging through trees.
Tarzan.
That's the guy that made Tarzan?
The man that made Tarzan.
That's crazy.
And he wrote this similar time.
So much similar.
Tarzan went on to accomplish a lot more.
So here's how I figured it was in the public domain, which made me think it was probably really old, is because about within 2 years of this movie coming out, there was another John Carter movie called John Carter of Mars, starring Antonio Sabato Jr.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's real bad.
Real bad.
So I think it's like with Winnie the Pooh now, like anybody can make a John Carter
yeah.
movie.
Oh, nice.
The interesting part was they released this movie in 2012.
Okay.
So that was 100 years after the book was written.
Look at that.
Look at
So now
that.
we just have to wait till
Yeah.
2112 to get John Carter
I sadly
2.
will be dead. I'll have to miss that one.
John Carter
Maybe.
the musical.
Well, it's true. Maybe they'll put my brain in
Well, I would say we'll have our Futurama heads,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah. All in water.
Still,
I'm not a crook. Nixon in the jar.
that's right. Welcome in, guys. As you've heard already, we've got Chuck in the house. What's up, man?
Eating the fish brain food. I'm
Dude,
here. I'm excited. John Carter.
I know nothing gets you more hyped than a Futurama reference.
I
so-
does. You're right. Or Simpsons, maybe.
Or
But-
Simpsons, but
I remember this movie. I saw this earlier in my life.
You did?
I think I saw it in the theater with my wife.
Really?
Yes. And she remembered absolutely nothing about it.
Okay, well,
She thought it was Prince of Persia at first, actually. She
That's
thought Jake
'cause
Gyllenhaal
The
was in
chain.
it.
it kind
Yeah.
of is.
Even the
3 times.
Yes.
3 times as I'm scrolling through Disney Plus to find it, I almost clicked on Prince of Persia because the poster looked identical.
Yes.
I
100%.
was like, no, I don't want to watch Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I got to watch.
I mean, who doesn't
Taylor
want
Kitsch.
to watch Jake Gyllenhaal? Let's be honest.
Speaking of big Jake Gyllenhaal fans, we got Dr. Mattila in the house. Welcome in, sir.
I prefer Dr. Mattila from Mars.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, perfect.
The Martian.
Also, the machine punter mummer in the house.
That's right.
Hey,
Welcome.
how are you?
I'm great, man.
I accidentally watched John Carpenter Goes to Mars.
No,
Well,
he's the one that can't figure
That's
out
what
the
I was
difference.
gonna say. Actually, is you got Halloween, you got Terminator,
Yeah.
and you got John Carter.
Yes.
What do all these have in common?
John.
They
John.
all have
John Connor.
involved.
John Carpenter, right?
No.
Oh.
You're going back like 150 episodes where he thought John Carpenter and John Carter were the same,
Same person.
guy.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Hey, it's cool we can celebrate being
legit.
around that long.
Yeah, we could.
It's amazing he went to Mars and made all these movies.
I know
He's
John,
good.
John
Well,
Carter
he's-
just got a star on the Walk of Fame.
All this guy
And
do is say
Avatar?
that weird phrase and Jassoom, and
That's it.
back here in that crypt
I'm
that he
zooming.
can't get out of.
I think the weird
Gotta
thing
get
is
Edgar to let him out.
it makes a Xerox copy of you
Yeah, that was a little confusing.
and sends you over.
Yeah, I don't think it's a real. It's like your body's still here, right?
Right.
And that's why that guy had to take care of him.
Yeah, so we're going to get into all of it,
What
but
happens if one
thank
of
you
them
guys.
dies?
I should ask before we get, because Chuck saw it in the theater. Have you guys ever seen
No, this
John
is
Carter?
the first time for me.
timer?
So this movie came out in 2012.
Yeah.
I was already married at that point. I walked.
Oh, good for you.
Well, I'm just thinking through. I went to see a movie. It must have
likes
been
a
with Lauren. And I walked out of the theater, and there was a poster of John Carter.
Oh.
And there's the 2 white apes behind him. And I was like, I want to see that movie. And then I didn't get to see it for like 3 years.
You see what a simpleton he is? He sees, oh, the white ape, cool, me see movie.
White ape. Ooh. Big strong. Big strong.
Perfect.
Me like movie with
Well,
white
you
ape.
saw it in like 15. What did you think back then?
Oh, but yeah, I was married and I saw it at 15.
No, 2015.
It was an
Said it was
arrangement.
12, 3 years
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
I loved it when I saw it.
All right, good.
All right. Well, we'll see if it holds up in your
We'll see.
estimation. And for those of you, if you've never listened to the show before, this is Bad Movies Rule. Welcome. We're going to go through the movie scene by scene. In a minute here, I'm going to give you all the vitals just to give you guys a little bit of a preview of what you're in for. We are not movie critics, all right? This is more about the yucks here. So
Surprise.
We're going to riff the movie. Think more riff tracks, less Roger Ebert. Hope you're here for some laughs. Come along with us. We'll go scene by scene through this flick. And then at the end, we're going to give it some awards and see who was good, who was bad. Is it actually bad? Is it actually good? Does it hold up? Does Mattila still love it?
That's the question.
That's the question.
Me and Curt never saw it. Does it suck? I
This
don't
was
know.
your first time too?
First time ever
Nice.
seen.
John Carter Virgins.
I will say this as we dive into the vitals, and I'll start this off by saying it was directed by Andrew Stanton. Any of you familiar with that name?
No.
Only after reading IMDb.
Yeah,
Does he have an
so
island?
Nemo,
Yeah,
Staten
I was
Island.
So
Wall-E.
banger Pixar movies he made. Okay,
Yep.
Wall-E, Finding Nemo. He was like the guy at Pixar.
Wow.
The Midas touch. Like you get Andrew Stanton on a project and it's going to be gold. So Disney, because he's like their $1 million guy, is like, we'll let you direct one of our live action franchises.
right.
Now it was like a graduation of sorts for him, and it went super great for Andrew.
Maybe they should have learned that lesson now, redoing things like Snow White and all these other movies.
I don't know.
IMDb
Yeah.
says it's not bad.
No, so
6.6.
it's a 6.6, which wouldn't have qualified just on that alone.
But
But right now, it's a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is really what I would call, compared to the movies we cover, a borderline film, because it's just 8% off of being fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, 52%, and it's dead on fresh at 60 for the audience score.
now I think it lost a bunch of money though, didn't it?
This is the thing with John Carter. This is why it's one of the most famous. We're talking about Ishtar from the 80s
Yep.
and some other. This is a very famous bomb where Disney poured $300 million into this project,
I think it shows.
which is an insane amount of money.
Yep.
It is.
And it lost some executives their jobs.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They cleaned house.
Yep.
They cleaned house after Andrew got sent straight back to Pixar.
Yep. He never did it. I don't know if he ever did a live action again.
You're on Toy Story 3. Get out of here.
Yeah, right. Pretty much.
Go print us some more money with the animated stuff.
The movie grossed.
Make up for what you lost.
The movie grossed $290 million, which is a lot of money, but not even what
I thought
they
it was
spent
$250
on
it was
it.
made.
Maybe. Maybe.
I think it came, I think
That's
it
not
broke
good.
even and went above in the international markets over all the years.
But once everything is said and done, it's
But it was
just not
terrible.
enough.
It was a terrible. Yeah, you can't
I
break
think
even. Right?
they wanted it to be their next big franchise. It was going to be
yeah,
the
they had
next,
two films in the
Yeah.
pipeline and they canceled them.
it was going to be their next Pirates, franchise,
okay,
right? Where
I
they
could see
start
that.
pumping out. There would have been a John Carter ride at Disney World if this movie had done well.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Well, here, listen to this. This is
100%.
interesting. IMDb comes through again.
Okay.
They said this film probably holds a record for the longest time in development hell, 79 years.
What?
Pre-production first started in 1931.
Wow.
That's insane.
When Robert Clampett, director of Looney Tunes, approached the author to say, can we do an animated version of this movie?
What?
Of the first book in the series, A Princess of Mars. Had plans gone through, John Carter could have become America's first animated feature, beating Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937.
So it wasn't in development at Disney at that point. It was Looney or Warner Brothers.
Can you imagine if that was like the first animated?
Yeah.
That could
Totally
have changed the
different world.
tides
Oh.
where Warner Brothers was the animation king.
Absolutely.
Sure.
That's right. 2010, they finally actually started producing it for real.
Movie was co-written by Andrew Stanton and his guy also from Pixar, Mark Andrews, and then Michael Chabon, starring Taylor Kitsch, Lynn Collins, Willem Dafoe, and Samantha Morton. Now, Taylor was more of a TV star. This was his big break into being a movie star. He had been in X-Men Origins Wolverine
Gambit,
as
right.
Gambit, but it was
Yeah,
still
yeah.
a pretty small part.
Yeah, no,
this is
absolutely.
him leading a franchise. Here you go, kid. Here's the keys to the castle. No pun
What a
intended.
bummer for him.
Right?
Because he's
he
a
looks
competent actor.
Yeah.
He went straight back to television
Yes.
after.
He's had quite a career.
No, I mean, Taylor's
That's
doing
rough
fine.
though.
He's a handsome dude. I thought he pulled that off.
But it kept him from being the next,
Yes, absolutely.
Ryan Gosling
kind
or
of-
whatever.
Ryan Gosling,
could've-
way overrated. Don't get me started on.
Well, well,
I'd rather see Klitsch any day than Gosling. Give me a break.
But they could have shimmed him into something like Indiana Jones even. I think he could have pulled something like that off.
No,
all
absolutely.
right. Chuck has deep feelings
a little
about
bit
Ryan
like,
Gosling. I didn't know.
Is there a Chuck
I
Tales
really
behind this?
dislike. I'll have to think about that. I'm not quite sure why. I just
One
don't
day
get why he's so
we
attractive.
get to the bottom of why you hate him
jealous,
so
maybe.
much. That's
Because
what it
he's
is.
too pretty, maybe.
He's not pretty. He's
If
not a
he
good actor
did
either.
the Dirty Dancing lift for you, then you would be sold.
Okay,
He's
so
a soft
hold
lover.
the candle Patrick Swayze. Let's get real here.
Samantha Morton, are you guys familiar with that actress? So Samantha Morton did the voice rather for Sola, the daughter of the king of the Tharks. That's the girl that played the precog in Minority Report.
I don't know what that word means.
The little bald precog that Tom Cruise
Oh,
was
in the
shuffling
pool.
in the pool. Yeah.
Oh, so they kind of have similar characters.
Okay,
kind
so she's the one who like could tell the.
No, she was the one that kept getting branded, like with
No, but I'm saying in Minority Report,
Yes,
she could like
she could,
tell
like,
the
see the
future or whatever.
stuff. That was her. Yeah.
Like you're
Sorry.
gonna commit a crime.
I've never seen that one.
So just wanted to mention that because she didn't do she hasn't done a lot. So I was just happy to see her name on something because I love Minority Report. But that's it, guys. That's how it qualifies. So literally, the only metric is the 8% difference on the critics is the only reason we're talking about this movie here. But when this got full Dudikoff, I was very happy because I wanted to see. All right, what's the big fuss? I've never seen this movie. I avoided it because everyone was like, "Ugh, John Carter" when it came out.
Yeah.
And I want to see if it's actually
What I want to know
Same.
is, are there a lot of John Carter fans in the world? If
Yeah.
you're a John Carter fan,
Please.
write us. Let us know if you've been like wanting this movie to come out since 1912.
Right. Are you out there beating down the doors at Disney for a sequel? We want
Yeah,
part
and you're
two.
complaining about how it all came about.
And how it's
actually a good movie.
Or
Yeah.
it didn't match the books the way it should have.
Well, believe me,
Ooh.
we'll see when we put this out. There's going to be, we always have people that are like, why are you doing this
100%.
movie? It's so
Wait.
good.
So this author wrote 2 books with white apes.
Yeah.
But he had 2 different types of white apes.
He's a little bit of a freaky dude
Oh,
Because-
jeez. I don't want to know.
because apparently in the books, Carter's always naked so are the Tharks.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're all naked all the time.
I mean, it's only natural.
Yeah.
Well, if you got zapped to Mars, you wouldn't take your underpants with you.
Yeah, and my wife was looking up some shots of this, and apparently the book covers were a little racy for the time. The lady's
Yeah.
kind of scantily clad and all that.
I saw, I think, some old art and it was like literally he was in a diaper.
Yeah.
It looked like on the cover. So
Well, I might crap my pants if I was flying through space on a amulet too, I suppose. So diaper might come in handy.
It was just some mud patch. That's all
it
I
was
could
literally
find.
just him hanging on for dear life to this amulet flying through space.
As his clothes are just getting ripped off
Elon says it only takes 6 months to get there. So
by amulet.
It
Well, I don't
depends.
know,
Yeah.
by
Maybe
space.
this is Elon's motivation. He saw this movie and he's like, I know there's Tharks.
There's a
and
hot
and
chick
red."
on
Yes,
Mars.
that's
Hot
right.
chicks on Mars.
Scantily clad.
I've populated all the Earth. I got to go do Mars now.
No,
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
he's like, well, actually, it's interesting that you go out to Mars and the women have no clothes on.
They're smoking hot chicks with red tattoos. You know,
Red
it's crazy.
I have
apes.
I have
What they call
17
it?
kids here. I need
red
73
people.
there.
That sounds kind of racist.
It does a little bit.
What? Is
all
that
right.
culture appropriation to take a
It's for
horrible
somebody.
slang and use it against the Martians?
I think so.
Maybe that's where Redskins got their name.
That's what happens is eventually they go woke on Mars and then you can't call them red men anymore.
The white
And
apes.
it's
Turns into a whole thing.
yeah.
I was confused.
You gotta be
who-
careful.
Who was who for a while in this movie.
Right up till the very end.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
And you're like,
I'm like,
oh, that's the white ape.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, wait, are the other guys the white apes? Which one's the white apes? Like, oh, those are supposed to be the white
Well,
apes.
if you want to reach out to the show, we encourage you to do so. We're going to get into the scene by scene here, but the way to do that is at thisshowis trash@gmail.com. As Chuck said, if you've got big, hard feelings about John Carter, hit us up. We want to hear about that. All right. Or you can leave us a voicemail, 262-757-8567. We'll get back to you on one of our mailbags. If you want to hear the uncut version of the show, that's on our Patreon, patreon.com/badmoviesrule. All the edits, all the mistakes, everything left in. If that's something you enjoy, check us out on there.
There's one other way they can get a hold of us,
Oh, you love this.
and that is by snail mail.
If you want to send us something, because we still have empty wall space here in the studio to put up on the wall or have on the table here, send us some snail mail. P.O. Box 383. Well, first, Bad Movies Rule, P.O. Box 383. Burlington, Wisconsin, 53105. Without you, no one would ever know our physical address because you're
true.
the only one that ever brings it up.
Hey, man, we got that. We've got
You're
some
right.
cool stuff.
That people at home will know what you're talking about.
There's
He just pointed off into space.
yeah, it's probably not even this shot. There's a poster that someone made for us. That's like a cartoonized version.
I
Well,
know
that
who
was
made that
that was Chuck's family member.
See, someone sent it to us. It counts.
But the one to the left and right was actually sent by
I was
Paige.
so
Yes.
close.
You missed
could have
it
been
by
talking-
that much.
All right.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
All right, guys.
Did my daughter mail that to us? or-
Let's pay some bills.
Speaking of big hard feelings, this
Yes.
princess, meow.
My daughter, who was in the room, was like, annoyed that the traditional Disney opening zoom in on the castle was all in red. You know, she's like,
Sure.
"What's wrong with the television?" I'm
It's on Mars.
like, the movie takes place on.
You got to adjust the color, Dad.
Okay.
That's like when my kids watched a black and white movie. I forget what movie it was. It started in black and white, and they're like, "Dad, something's wrong with the TV." I was like, "No, it's supposed to be like that."
Wizard of Oz is supposed to be that way.
This is just movie for dinosaurs, kids.
Wizard of Oz is the first colorized movie.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's why it starts black and white, and then they transition.
I don't know. My parents showed that to me when I was a kid. They're like, "Look, it turns the color," and I was like,
That's right. When they go to Oz.
Cool.
When they go to.
We already
We've
actually
had
have
color
that.
since I was born.
Is it
Have you
Oz?
not seen
Oz is
Terminator?
the name of the place.
"Oh, is it?"
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the movie opens in a voiceover. Well, you think you know Mars? You can just name it, and you know it. You don't know nothing about Mars. Let me tell you about Mars.
Yeah.
But we're starting on Earth.
And is this
so
William
never mind.
Dafoe at this point?
Willem,
Willem?
because the internet
It's not
has
William.
crucified me.
Willem?
Wilhelm.
Wilhelm Dafoe?
Wilhelm.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem. Willem.
Wilhelm.
Got it.
Wilhelm.
I won't screw that up again. So this was Willem Dafoe, right?
Yes. Yes. I'm just trying to save you from the ire of the
No, I appreciate it.
Why would
Thank
he
you.
know that it's called Mars?
because
Oh,
this
because
is-
Virginia told
because
him.
Virginia told him. All right, there's some heavy expo here. They're like,
Yeah,
all
a
right,
lot of
there's
expo.
Zodanga and they're bad, and in helium it's the red team versus the blue team.
Yeah, is this
Zodanga.
American Gladiators? I was like, hell yeah.
Problem
Halo.
was, even by the end, you still didn't understand what was happening. All that
No.
exposition, they needed about 5 more lines.
It
Yes.
took me till the end to just simplify and go, okay, red team, blue team.
Right.
I think it was when that guy waved his little flag towards the end of the movie and was like, no, I'm on helium.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh, that's the good guys.
it's all right, all right.
Helium's
Yeah,
a terrible
absolutely.
name, too.
Well, and then with the red tattoos, it's just the whole thing's
Yeah.
confusing.
They also got like 3 guys that all looked real
Yes.
similar, and
Sure.
I kept being like, "Wait, who was
Who was
that?" I kept
guy?
rewinding.
I know.
Oh, dude, I needed everyone from helium to talk like this the whole time. How are you going to call it helium and not have them be like, what's up, Ramsey?
That's right. Helium does that, doesn't it?
Jaku.
Let's go.
I don't want to marry him.
Sorry, but your princess
They
is
should
in
have
another
totally
castle.
used blimps with helium, too.
Right.
That would have been awesome.
We're flying on light. This is the
Flying
first
on
scene as
light.
these people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, they're solar powered is what it looks like.
Those ships were cool, but I didn't understand how they were flying.
No, you don't fly on light beams on Earth.
We float on water. Oh, I'd love to see water ships.
And then they proceed to go see water.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
And float on
I'd be like, Princess, airboats are way cooler than water boats.
You have no
way
idea.
cooler.
You're a liar. You can float on the water.
Yeah, you even had some water. You even had boats. They had like straw boats.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
I was surprised there was water at all, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
well, I'm like, how are they living?
Okay.
if
Yeah,
they're actually
yeah.
human?
Anyway. So it starts with an air battle. It's like this story starts where the captain or the leader of Zodanga is. I just kept thinking of Topanga from
Names
Boy
are
Meets
so
World.
terrible in this
Is caught like Topanga's caught in a dust storm somewhere. You know what? And there's like a space air battle going on. Okay,
Here comes Ben Savage.
Lauren
Yeah,
straight
they're
up
trying to
was
think
like,
of the name.
"What is this, Star Wars?" It's episode 1 in this part.
The
Okay,
answer is
it's not
yes.
Star Wars.
It is.
this is episode 1.
Anyway, so Red Leader is in trouble.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can't see them. They're all over me.
Pretty much Star Wars going on here.
Where's Blue Leader?
We now, Lucas just made up all his stuff about some fancy Japanese or Korean movie that he copied.
He read John Carter.
He just totally ripped off John Carter.
Straight up.
100
Yeah.
Because Jenna, who was watching this with me, just kept saying over and over again, "This is Star Wars, but different."
Yes.
Right? I was like, "Yeah, you're not wrong." Anyway, he's losing this battle, the Red Leader, and these space monks. I don't know what else to call them. Just float down to his
Jedi.
Well, right, but at the time we don't know.
there
that.
you go.
Like,
I don't know what they are.
Here's some bald space monks.
Yeah.
Jedi.
Give him a gun.
Wait, a space monk is a Jedi.
Ah.
They were dressed the same.
There's no way he copied them on this.
Here, you get the blue wires.
You get the red lasers. You get the blue lasers.
The blue licorice is yours. I did like he tried to shoot them with it immediately when he got
Yeah,
it.
he
Yes.
did.
And you're not like, just kidding, we'll take it back now.
Yeah.
You've proven that you're not good.
Why didn't they work against them?
Yeah, because it is them. It's like
Yes.
their own.
It's blue.
They
It's
control
ninth
it.
ray.
He's like, "I've got a blue chastity belt. You can't shoot
Right.
me."
That's right.
And they're all high on ninth ray. They've been
They
smoking
are.
ninth
They're
ray all
ninth
day.
ray all the time,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, so they're laced with the
They're
stuff.
from
I thought he
Detroit.
just had some taffy in his pocket. And he's just like, here. And it's like, gooey.
We work for the goddess, and she chose you for the blue cotton candy weapon.
which is all a lie.
It is.
That's true.
Right. But to these simpletons, he's like, well, we are gods. And
We work for the goddess.
I mean, you guys did float onto my ship. Sure.
they did. They did. Then
And obliterated entirely everybody
They
on
did.
every
Oh, that's
ship.
They
right.
did do that. They
And
turned
those
them
ships
into
didn't
dust.
like crash.
No, they
They
dissolved.
just gone.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
He turned them into ninth ray dust to smoke later. That's what they're going to do.
That's what they do with
I don't think you
it.
smoke.
That's
you
how they
inhale.
float.
inhale it.
Snuff.
They
There's little
snuff it.
snuff cups they make.
snuff it.
They're like,
Later on,
Jesse.
they're hanging out in Thurnland. Just, oh, that vintage is pretty good. That one.
Lots of ways to do
you
ninth
got a
ray.
good
Lots
guy
of
going on there.
We should call this planet helium.
Straight up like, Jesse, we need to cook.
You can cook it, smoke it, grind it up, put it in a stew.
Yeah, that's what they really are.
Put it in a
They're
stew.
just dust sellers. and
Boil
some
it,
other-
mash it, stick it in a
That's the
stew.
origin. That's the origin of spice, guys. From Dune.
Hey,
There it is. We
tie it all
discovered
together.
Tie it all together.
Everybody got that?
Okay. Randomly cuts to 1881 New York City. I did not expect that.
That was surprising.
I was like, what?
Little jarring,
This is where I'm going. I don't know if I remember much about this movie that I saw.
but it looked good.
It did.
It was fine. And
Super high production value.
to sum this up, it's John Carter's running around in his little suit, he like wires or telegraphs Ned on a train.
He's playing peekaboo with the
Please.
bald guy who's
There's like
following
a
him.
dude in a bowler hat following him around.
Got to be a bowler hat in 1800.
Yeah, it's got to.
He's got money.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money
Super
Lots.
because he is able to send the thing like premium style,
Yeah.
basically the telegraph or whatever.
He's like, oh, yeah.
Ned comes in.
coin.
It's like, see me right away in the telegraph, and Ned shows up to John Carter's mansion.
Huge house.
Yeah,
huge.
filled
Almost
with
as big
like,
as mine. Well, it's big.
it looks like the ravings of a lunatic on the wall with all the like strings tied to tacks and all this. And he's clearly been searching for something. But his attorney, John Carter's attorney, said he's already dead.
Yeah.
And he's now here in this mausoleum. You can't get into it, but he's totally in there. Trust me, bro. And
Yeah.
right, and that's it. And here's the estate, and he signs the will, and it's all yours. And thank you.
See you later. I'm out.
Super rich.
I
gotta go.
Sitting there like,
What do I do?
what?
His face acting, he had almost no lines.
You're right.
But Ned's face acting throughout this whole thing, it's a kid from Spy Kids.
That's right, because he's a Spy Kid.
And he is just like,
My
it
wife-
was good though, like
my
in a
wife
good
was very
way.
excited that he was Spy Kid.
For
He was
everyone who
probably
couldn't
excited just to
see
act with
that.
something that wasn't a green screen, right?
Yeah,
Like, I
Sure.
mean, like,
Yeah.
he was like, "There's going to be real tables and chairs."
What is
The
this?
Spy Kids, there's like nothing in those
Yes.
movies.
Yeah.
Just dancing around in a studio.
Yeah.
Right.
Hanging around by cables
wires.
and wires.
Antonio
Yeah.
Banderas, though. And who
right.
was the mom?
Was it Selma Hayek?
She was attractive, as I recall.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the correct answer. All right. So he
I was pro Spy Kids mom.
I can imagine.
he reads a message, and basically it's from John Carter saying, "I've got
Get here now."
one more
Yeah.
crazy story to tell you." Right? You gotta listen. 13 years ago, or whatever. So now we flash back even further to 1868 in the Arizona territory.
Oh, that's right. It goes back for
He's in the
where-
cavalry,
where-
right?
Well, he former cavalry.
That's right.
And John Carter is now searching for a cave full of gold, some spider cave.
Spider Kid.
There are so many
gold.
subplots in this movie.
Tons, dude.
Yeah, and they expect you to put it all together.
What we learn about John Carter in the 1860s is that he gets beat up a lot.
Yes, he gets.
He's supposed to be super brave dude, but all he does is get beat up by Bryan Cranston and everybody else.
I was so happy to see him.
Takes a whooping.
Speaking of Jesse, we need to cook. He was in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. There are
Right?
a lot of famous people in this. Kieran, what's his name?
If he knew about all the alien meth on Mars, he would have been the one
Totally there.
getting over. Give me that amulet.
Give me that. That was the secret to Eisenberg or whatever it was.
Do you know who was in
was
the
blue.
that general store or the
Which one? The, guy
saloon?
that worked there, or the dudes
One
that
of
were
the
laughing
dudes
at him?
that were laughing at him.
No.
Gerard Butler is one of them.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And he had
didn't-
like 2 lines.
I didn't even pay attention, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Leonidas was in there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he walks in and he's like, he wants beans. This was all confusing. He's like, I'm like, give the man some beans. What do
Well,
you?
he doesn't have any money.
what's
He's
the
like,
big
you
deal?
got
Owed him
money,
$100, which is a lot
That's
back
a lot
then.
back then.
That's like $7,000 million
Yeah.
dollars
He had
right
like a,
nowadays
he
money.
had like a
Right.
gold domino, right? He was just like,
Yeah.
here's this.
gold domino.
That's
What do you expect me to
First
play
thing
with
I
this?
want is beans. All right.
How
you
are the
got some
beans going to help you
beans.
find the gold?
Well, you gotta have protein, dude.
They're magic.
He's got to hike and stuff.
I'm
You
gonna
gotta have
plant these.
High
They're magic
protein.
beans.
I'm going to
weight
climb the
ratios.
Mars.
And he's out in the wilderness. It's okay if he has gas. Yes.
It's true. No problem.
Oh, the Cowboys. I saw Blazing Saddles. They don't
Yeah.
care, but they sit around
You
the
heard this
campfire.
new public service about Dad's got gas?
What?
What?
Gas, past gas, and it smells bad and all this. And it turns out it's not smoking. I thought for a little bit, I'm like, it can't possibly be this commercial's talking about actual gas and how it hurts your lungs.
Oh, it's about not
And
smoking.
then it goes, I'm like, well, maybe they're talking about carbon monoxide gas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that doesn't smell. That's why it's so dangerous. And in the end, it's about take your gases outside if you're going to smoke.
Oh, jeez. I thought it was a farting commercial.
I thought it was a farting commercial. I'm like, this has got to be a joke commercial. 89.1 BSD.
I am
BSD if you wanna hear
going
it.
to be passing gas. They can't stop.
Nah.
Why don't you pull that out of your pocket, play us a little tune?
I was worried about my own family altogether.
They're not making this illegal. They
EPA's way out of control.
thanks, Obama. The army snatches him up before he can go anywhere.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And this is where we see Bryan Cranston. He's like the leader of this little unit in the cavalry. And he fights them. Bro, one of the funniest scenes in the whole movie is they get him into the office and he sits there for a second and then he attacks Cranston. And it cuts, he got him subdued again. and he's bleeding, and he's like,
Busting his nose.
and then he talks to him for like 2 more seconds and then he jumps out the window.
He's in the jail cell.
I'm like,
Yeah, he's very determined, but not good at what he's trying to do.
I also like how Bryan Cranston's trying to convince him that he's going to work for them. And I'm like, if you're going to give this guy a gun, I'm pretty sure it's going to shoot you in the face.
yes. At some point, you're going to have to give him a weapon if you want him to kill the Indians.
yeah, and
right?
help you. Yeah, right.
Right.
Yep.
I'm not, that's what they were calling them. Not, okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The Navajo.
Yeah, the natives.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've never heard of the army forcing a prisoner because he's no longer in the
He
cavalry.
wasn't even, he was with the Confederacy.
Which you were not allowed to serve anymore.
And so they were like, you're going to serve
Yeah.
us
Oh,
with
I
the
didn't
blue
catch that.
coats. And it's like,
Yeah. And if anyone that knows their anyone knows their history knows that
Virginia.
if you were a rebel, you were barred from ever serving in the military ever again. And
but he was that good.
and it would have took Congress voting a 2/3 majority on one single person to overturn that.
It is John Carter. They're like, I
Oh,
heard about
good
this guy.
for you with
Yeah.
your
Seriously.
knowledge.
Oh, good for you.
That's impressive.
You think okay, but do you
He's-
think that Senate was ready, like waiting by for word from Bryan Cranston to have a hearing to get John Carter back into the
No.
cavalry?
They're over
No.
there scratching their
No.
arm like, you got any John Carter over there?
Okay, I feel like this was done below or off the books or whatever.
They thought he said John Wick.
He was the Suicide Squad of his time.
It was. God,
yeah.
seriously though.
Everything in movies comes from this guy's writing.
Right.
Yes.
John Carter.
I do like how John Carter he goes, I'm going to break out of this jail cell, right? I mean, he basically tells him exactly what he's
This
gonna
was genius.
do. And he just starts to piss out the cell
Yeah. The guy's like, you can't do that.
and gets the
Walks
guy
up to him. He's
walk-
pissing. He's going to piss on you.
Bro, it'd be COVID city. I'd be like 6 foot radius if anyone's
And I'd be
taking a-
wearing a mask.
You're going to
Taking a
catch some chlamydia with that spray.
But he walks straight up to, what is happening right here with this urine all over
His
the
face is under the stream. Like,
It's just like bouncing off his forehead.
and he just grabs him and pulls him into the bars.
Yeah, that was.
knocks him out
Like,
cold.
you got way too close to a peeing man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he just let go. And he grabs the guy and just smashes his face into
Right.
the bars.
He's like, bye. And he's like, he stole your horse. And by the time Cranston gets outside, he's halfway to Mars. You know,
By horseback.
it takes a long time.
He's
Yeah.
in the lead, then he gets off the horse.
80 million miles on horseback.
Yeah, Elon, how long does it take to ride a horse to Mars?
Ghost Riders him. I had one less ride in me.
They end up riding into some Apaches, and these guys, like
Or Navajo.
John
something.
Carter,
What they were.
tries to talk to them. Like, so he speaks the language.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think Cranston at one point said, if you go on native, like accused him of, he's like, no, I don't want, I literally don't want to fight for anybody.
He's like,
Yeah.
I just know Pig Latin. Get over it.
Right. Okay.
And so do they.
And he's clearly negotiating with this guy. And one of these moron cavalrymen just shoots.
Open fires, yeah.
So the Minecraft movie stole from this too.
Yeah, and it's true.
Idiots. They won't attack.
And so there's about a 3-second pause after this native gets shot off his horse, and then it's
all out chaos, yeah.
all hell breaks loose. And Cranston gets shot. John Carter doubles back and saves him for some reason.
This is like the start of where John Carter's decision making makes no sense to me throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
He starts here of just like, let me go save this guy's life.
He's honorable man.
Yeah, they're trying to
That's what it
portray
is.
him
That's
as the
what it
hero,
is. He's
right?
the hero. He saves even guys that are after him.
The Native Americans are the ones who got hit first. Why didn't he go grab one of them off a horse?
Yeah.
Well, it's limited.
Or when the natives chase him up the side of the mountain, he's like, "Here he is, boys!"
This was written in 1912.
I was just bringing you as bait.
You just got a pile of people on the back of the horse.
I was just
I
keeping
can only get 5 of you.
I was just keeping him here in case you didn't know this was the guy.
He's like, actually, I just got to outrun you here, so.
Yeah. So see you later. They all kind of back off. It's kind of like a Han Solo Indiana Jones moment, right? Where he thinks he's like backed
Super
off
cool.
these like 7 guys, and really it's like this spider symbol on the rock behind him.
Yeah, and he goes like, "Cover me! I got to go see what this is."
Yeah,
'Cause he
cover
wants to
me.
see what.
Wounded, dying man.
Yeah.
Well, I go over the edge.
That's
They're
right.
going to shoot me, and you won't be able to see it.
And I just love he gets to the edge. He's like, "Huh?" And he looks up. Oh,
Drags him up there
that's
by
a
his
spider.
foot. Yeah.
It looked nothing like a spider.
No.
I would have been like, look, the sun or something.
Later on, when they're in the science mountain and the thing comes on, he's like, "A spider." No.
It has 9 strands.
Going
Can
off of
you
a straight-
count?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah.
John,
I was
I'm a
off.
little
I was
concerned.
off.
It's a Martian spider.
It's classic spider configuration. Yeah.
I think John needs glasses.
Probably.
I'm not
She-
John Carter of the Sun.
The princess wasn't actually that hot. We were seeing through his vision.
Bro gets into the spider cave and he's like, "Damn, I don't have the beans. I'm not gonna be able to do this." And then this space monk appears out of nowhere with a space knife that like manifests out of the blue cotton
What's
candy.
that remind me of?
You know what it's kind of like? I don't know if you ever read it, but the Stormlight Archives,
Stormlight Archives.
they can like summon their blades. It's really sick.
So kind of like what's that called?
A lightsaber?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh, I get what you were saying.
I get it,
That
yeah.
went right over my head.
Yeah.
He was doing a
right.
bit.
Let's do it. Very poorly.
All right. So he comes at him with a
He's rusty. It's okay. Give him a break.
with a light knife. 'Cause it's not a saber. It's a light
No,
knife.
Light knife.
it's a light
They
knife.
were pretty
Oh,
cool.
right.
Good
It's not
effects.
very big.
A
Not
light
very
dagger.
heavy.
Yeah.
It's a light knife.
But he gets shot. Like John shoots him.
I said, I guess
He
aliens
pulls an
aren't
Indiana
impervious to
Jones.
bullets.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No one knew what was happening here. I don't know. That guy didn't know what was happening.
No.
I don't think John knew what was happening. He lies dying and he's starting to recite these words he's trying to get off of Earth, I'm assuming. But John grabs the brooch, the cosmic
yeah.
brooch or whatever, that amulet, whatever.
The amulet. Yeah.
And the guy kind of half says a word, the Barsoom, but John just repeats that word
As he's holding.
as he's holding it and
Vanishes.
skadoosh.
Yeah.
Boosh. Out holding on for dear life onto this
right.
amulet, ripping through space.
Yeah.
Which he's not really.
No, it's literally like 3D printing him
Yeah.
on Mars.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of a I don't know, desert basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
That's
Right.
a.
And it looks abandoned. There's like no life
It looks
forms,
like Mars.
nothing. Yeah.
As we would-
absolutely.
as we
Did
would
he even
see
say Xerox, I think, when he was explaining it to the princess?
telegraph. He says
Oh,
telegraph.
telegraph. Okay, that's good.
Right, 'cause they didn't have
1800s, that's good. No, I was going to say something like that, though.
It's like FedEx brought me here. Like,
it was Elon.
I got Pony Expressed all the
so
way up to Mars.
UPS just brings me over here, and then they don't deliver because they say nobody's at the door.
That horse did bring me here.
That's weird.
It's interesting because this is like basically how people talk about teleportation.
Yeah.
Normally, is like it does create a copy of you technically if you teleport.
Really?
Mattila,
A lot of times, yeah.
You can't teleport. So what on earth are you talking about?
Well,
There's a lot of science fiction that talks about it like this. Yeah.
Science fiction.
that's not true in Star Trek.
The
I'm
word
sorry. Are
is
we
in the
talking about
name.
the documentary
because
John
you had
Carter
you
in
had
Mars?
the way you said it, you said, well, when you're teleported, that really is what happens. And I'm like, you said it like we're talking about a real thing.
You
I
did
just
say
wanna
really.
clarify. Okay.
Which
Are you talking about like string theory and quantum entanglement
Yeah.
or
I'm just saying, like, it's a very common. It was a stupid
it's
thing
so
to say.
common I've never heard it.
I guess you don't watch a lot of good movies.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
That's why you have a show called Bad Movies Rule.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, he gets up and he's not
Fair
used. He's like space drunk. He's not used to like how gravity.
Their
works
gravity, right.
on-
All of a sudden, yes, he's realizing
Mars.
something's different. He thinks
Right.
he's become a superhero.
he kind of has.
Yeah.
well,
Except
it
he's
immediately reminded me of Tobey Maguire doing the Spider-Man leaps.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
It's tonally it's a little weird because it suddenly turns into like Swan Lake and there's like da, 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 da. and he's just leaping.
My daughter's watching this with me, and she goes, his jumps keep getting longer and longer. He's like, there's no way he's going to make that. Sure he is.
He's figuring it out.
And he's holding people, too, a lot of
It
times.
was
Well, and
kinda
every
weird.
time he would land, he would do like, trip, fall, roll, barrel roll, whatever, eat dirt. And then obviously there's at some point he starts doing the superhero pose, which was,
And at no point is he like, where am I? What's happening here?
He's just figuring it out.
He's just like, this is
I
pretty
touched
cool.
this amulet, now I can jump forever.
Yeah.
This is cool.
He probably thinks he's in Nevada or something,
Yeah.
right? But then he finds the
Well, he's
Spider-Man
in Utah, actually.
logo on the
And Arizona.
He's
and
literally in Utah, probably.
Yes.
In
Most of this
Monument
movie
Valley.
was filmed there. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And he finds the Spider-Man logo on the side of a cave. He's like, oh, sick, I know what this is. And then, I don't know how else to describe these things.
No. The first thing is he
please.
leaves the amulet behind as
Oh,
he's
that's
jumping.
right. It's just laying in the grass.
You're right. One of several times he makes some poor choices with that amulet.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who needs this thing?
Who needs this?
I don't need this.
Huh, that was weird. Chuck.
This super powerful thing. Who needs it?
Yeah. Because now he can just leap back to Earth if he wants to,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
That's what he's going to do. Because I wouldn't doubt it based on how far he jumps by the end of this movie.
He thinks he can.
He could leap all the way back to Virginia.
To Virginia.
He probably could.
Right.
She told me you can jump over there. Oh, 6 miles away?
You know
Yeah,
what?
no
If I was
problem.
John
I got
Carter-
this.
If I was John Carter, I bet I could jump clear over them mountains.
You're soaking it up in a hot tub.
There was bar stories about him for years after this.
That's right.
You hear about John Carter? I heard he could jump 40 miles in one leap.
He ends up, there's like a bunch of eggs hatching, and with what
Yeah,
only can
because
be,
it's like he's on like a glass
Yeah.
greenhouse
Yeah, that's
kind
what it
of.
was. That was kind of weird.
it can only be described as like, before you really know what they are, they're like lizard walruses. Right?
Yeah, they got like tusks.
Right.
Yeah, and you're not sure what they are because obviously
Yeah.
we weren't introduced to the Tuscan warriors.
No.
They've got tusks.
Tuscan-
Nice.
Yeah, you're not
They
wrong.
kind of
did
are.
shoot
You're gonna
guns.
live with me now.
They did shoot guns.
Like, John, get out of there. They'll soon be back and in greater numbers.
But they've got tusks and 4 arms and 2 legs.
Yes.
They're really
That's right.
strange.
They reminded me a little bit of Jar Jar Binks and Avatar having children together.
Yeah.
A good combination.
Yeah, tall,
right there.
skinny, kind of Jar Jar. He looks a little.
That's nightmare
the
fuel.
tusk.
A little brown chicken, brown cow with Goro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
his- Tars, the main guy, Tarkin or whatever his name
Who
was.
is Willem Dafoe?
It is that, thank you. And he walks up and he sees him jump because he jumps out of, the walrus pit or wherever he was. And he's just like, oh, did you see that? Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
Hold off.
we are going to crush the Mars Basketball League this year. We need him to play point guard.
So Tars is kind of
Now it's Space Jam.
That's what they want him for the Martian basketball team.
Yeah.
So Tars is kind of taking over for John Carter's role now,
Yes.
where he's the one who's trying to be like, hold on, let's figure this out,
Right.
just like he was with the Navajo or whatever.
And it kind of reminded me of Chuck with his cats. He's just like, hey, here, kitty, 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 kitty.
right.
He's like, kind of like, it's okay, little white monkey.
Come, little white monkey. That's right. I won't take you into the garage. I won't take you inside. Come on. I'll just give you pets. It'll be fine. That's why I'm hiding in the car. 'Cause I know.
Tell
Last
your
time I
alien
was at
I
your
said,
house, your Trinity hid under my car.
I heard that.
You heard about that.
She's smart.
And I was just like, well, that's why I tried to call you because I was like, I didn't know if she was supposed to be out in the front yard in the first place. I'm like, oh, is she escaped? And then she hid. She let me pet her for 1 second and then she hid under my car. I was like, well, guess I'm not leaving.
She wants to be out. She caught a bird and brought it home. We all crunched up today.
Oh, delightful.
Right
Yummy.
before we were eating chicken. Millie was
Look
like,
what I
I don't know
killed
if I
for
can eat
you.
chicken. Barbecue chicken.
was a lava chicken?
La, 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 lava.
Chicken.
Steve's lava chicken.
Yeah, it's tasty and good. I don't know what the lyrics are. All right.
But we should say at this point, though, too,
Yes.
they're speaking their own native
Yes,
tongue.
that is true.
They don't understand each other.
No.
Right.
So he's like, me, Tarkin, or whatever his
Yeah.
name. I'm screwing his name up.
Eugene.
He's like, and to his, in Tars's defense, John's answer was way too long. I am John Carter from Virginia. I'm like, bro, just be like,
Yeah.
John.
He's
Like,
going to say
point
the
to
last thing
yourself.
you say, which is what he does. Virginia.
Virginia.
No. I'm John Carter from Earth, and I was born in Virginia.
Virginia.
Dang it, no.
I thought that was a pretty funny bit.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
funny.
Wait a minute.
For a while.
No.
Shorten it up, man.
Yes.
John, John, Virginia. All right, whatever.
He tries to jump away. John Carter gets shot in the ass by one of these things. And then I love how Tars like, it's okay, little monkey. Here's some alien goop for your ass. And he's just rubbing it on his backside.
Just rub some spit on it.
Just like, ugh.
That'll be healthy for a human.
And then you see them sort of
probably fine.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
genocide all the baby walruses.
Yeah, they're like, those ones are weak. Kill them.
Yeah.
Kill the other ones.
They pull a
And
Sparta
you're
on
like,
them.
and he's like, what is going on?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, where am I?
Dude, it's crazy.
Obviously, I must be in Kentucky.
This is the
This
point
is
where I also.
definitely Arizona.
This is the point where I also had to say to myself, I'm just going to overlook the whole oxygen thing.
Oh,
And
yes.
the fact that there's massive civilizations on Mars, that some of them appear to be humanoid of some sort.
They look not just humanoid, they're humans.
But they got blue blood.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Oh.
That was a whole thing. But the apes do too.
Yeah, my daughter got this. She nailed this. She says, I bet they did that for the PG-13 rating.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Well, that was true in the Chainsaw Hand Guy movie.
Right. Yeah. and
Evil
Ash,
Dead 2.
They did black or whatever
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Chainsaw guy.
It cuts back to
It's been a while since I've thought of these things.
because they're like, well, we need some more exposition. They go to Helium, and they got like the president of Helium. This
He's
is
a great actor.
Blue Leader. Okay, this guy. What was his name? I don't remember.
So he's the guy that plays in
Gray hair guy.
Yeah, he's
Gray hair.
He played in Rome. He played in
Oh,
Game
yeah,
of
yeah.
Thrones. He was the rebel leader. Karen something. I can't.
Yes.
Very famous guy.
I
Terror.
recognize
The
him from
Terror. That's
somewhere.
a great movie too.
He's like, look, red team's kicking our butts.
Yeah, we're getting beat up.
Okay, we're getting blasted on all sides.
Listen, princess daughter, I don't care about your stupid gizmo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, but hold on, the 9-3, I figured this out. Like
Blue light.
his princess, his daughter, right? You shine this blue light. Well, it doesn't do anything right now, but it's going to work at some point, right? Like I'm right on the cusp.
I almost got it.
figuring
And
this out.
then,
It's like,
It's like when
ooh.
your kid tries to show you something,
Yeah.
like, okay.
yeah, I'll put it on the fridge. We're good.
You're like, oh, this would make a nice moonlight in
we're just
my
going to put it right up
chamber.
here on this board.
Yeah.
That's real nice.
Oh, good job, sweetheart.
It's unlimited power, Daddy.
She straight up just put like a blue screen over the sunlight coming down.
Right.
Look, blue light.
Yeah, exactly.
Look what I made.
And then guy touches it, and magic spider web comes out.
Yeah,
Yes.
the cotton candy.
Yeah.
Oh,
glove.
yeah, one of the dudes sabotages it.
Yeah.
Sabotages it because it is the true power.
Yeah.
And she's like, wait a minute. I mean, it did work before. And then, of course, like we were just saying, the dad's like, good job.
Yeah.
Sure, it did.
So the princess's name is Deja. And here's where he's like, look, I got, sweetheart, nice blue light. I got some bad.
Bad.
I got good news and bad news.
Turns out, good news is they're going to stop murdering all of our people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
How are they going to do that, Dad?
Yeah. This is gonna be
get-
such good news.
You got to get married.
To Sabthan,
I'm sorry, what?
You have to marry Red Leader.
Red leader. Yeah.
Okay. She is not happy about it.
No.
She screams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Find another way.
That's right.
Right? There is no other way.
I'm a modern Martian woman.
That's right.
I don't have to buy into arranged marriages any longer, Daddy.
I am a scientist.
Yes.
I am up to my neck in this blue light thing
Yeah,
I'm
I'm a
working on.
Strong, independent Martian
Yes.
woman who
right.
don't need no man because I got blue light.
I have
right.
red tattoos, Dad.
Yeah. One of them.
I
Mickey
paid for
Mouse
these with
even.
my own money.
Absolutely. Forget the people. I'm not
Okay.
marrying this guy.
I got the Disney castle over here.
Yes, right.
I am a girl boss.
yeah.
And if you cut me, I bleed blue just like the rest of you.
Yeah. Why did it be blue? I don't understand that part.
I don't get that
They
either.
didn't explain that.
It's weird. All right. So
Almost not. Well, maybe you live on Mars a long time. You have blue blood.
Maybe the oxygen hits it
What's she
differently.
like-
Oh, yeah.
Because isn't our blood blue, supposedly, until it hits oxygen and then turns red?
True now.
is that
Yeah,
true?
Blue veins. That's why they're blue. See? What movie is that from?
I don't know. That's how I was trying. I forgot.
When I was in fourth grade, I think we talked about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I,
I still don't know.
I don't know.
you said that there was a star up there for me. And is this what was written on it, Dad? You got to marry Sabthan.
Sabthon.
Look,
of the Zodiacs.
we'll
or
put
what so, what were their names? Zodakas? What were their names?
Zodanga.
Zodanga. It's even
We'll
better
put
than
your
what I
blue
said.
light gizmo on the top of the fridge.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
You can put it in your house, baby.
John Carter gets brought in on like the daycare monster. It's like got all the little babies in the sack, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like the little lizard thing. and they fight over the babies. So
Yes.
when the babies come into this Thark village, they just literally like
Roll 'em
dump
out.
them out,
Yeah.
roll them out, and then everybody jumps in and tries to get one.
their baby.
And they just beat each other up
Yeah.
over it.
Yep.
And Sola is the one that doesn't get one, and Sola ends up having to take care of the white ape, as they call him.
Whitey. They call him that?
John Carter.
Okay.
Yeah. Give him, or the white
Yeah.
worm. She says, give him the white,
White
worm.
worm.
You're right.
That worm.
Yeah.
That's his nickname.
Right. And so she's like, cool, I always get the bad ones.
There's a point here where he's asking him to jump all the time that you feel like he's a little bit like P.T. Barnum.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going on the show, people. We're going on the road, people.
We are going to make so
We're gonna
much
make
money.
so much money with our really angry fellow Tharks that are on this planet as well.
Wait, do you see how high this
Wait,
thing
this guy
jumps?
can jump so high. It's awesome. Gonna make so much money.
now
Get the
jump.
bearded Thark out here too. It'll be awesome.
Get the albino Thark.
Get the
right?
albino
We'll get all the weird ones.
Get all
We'll
the
put it
weird
together.
ones.
We're
The
going on the
bearded
road,
Thark.
boys. Okay, Panga's gonna pay us all this money every time we go over there.
If I remembered enough of Greatest Showman songs, I'd sing something.
Well, I love he's like, jump. And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. And he's like, wait a second. I told you to jump.
Tomorrow you'll jump.
Yeah.
Okay.
A million Tharks is all it's gonna take. All right, sorry.
No, it was good.
He gets initiated with the babies. He's like, initiate him with all the other babies, and they're
Yeah, they diaper him and
freaking powder.
Yeah.
right in his
That was
face.
funny.
yeah,
There's so much
so much.
powder.
He was extra white.
And he's now chained up with these things in, where in like on a cave somewhere
He's the only one chained though.
with like this giant
Penis dog.
I said he looked like a frog dog.
Frog dog.
Yeah, I was
like
calling him a slog.
A slug.
Oh, yeah.
Six-legged frog.
Looked
dog.
like a scrotum dog.
monster
dude.
dog.
I'm sorry,
Or
but
tongue, maybe.
He'd be a wiener dog.
Yeah.
All right. So he's able to break out of the chains because he's very strong, right?
Yeah.
And he tries to escape, but the dog just keeps zooming in front. The dog is hyper fast.
Yes.
Yes.
very fast.
Very fast.
And knows exactly where he's going at every moment.
Yes.
He's able to calculate the trajectory of the jump. He's like the leaping guy. And he's going to land here. And boom, 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 boom.
I kind of like that. I thought it was fun.
And all these Tharks are having like a Thark party. They're like, oh, we haven't
We
caught
got
a
the
white
babies. New
Yeah.
generation. Woo!
And he ends up leaping into like the roof up there, and the dog runs into the party, and they're pissed off that the freaking frog dog is.
Yeah, and you're like, "Get outta here.
stupid dog! I hate this dog!" And they're all kicking and punching it. And John,
Get in your crate.
who's
Bad
John,
decision number 3.
who shouldn't really care about this
No,
dog
at
at
all.
No.
No.
right? Just hey, leave him alone.
But he's
That's
got like a
my
heart
dog.
for him.
I did defend a bunny from some neighborhood kids today.
Today,
Yeah, they were chasing this cute bunny in my yard, and I'm like, leave the bunny alone. Don't
they
shock
had
their-
it cornered, and they were like
They were
insulting
chasing
it.
The bunny was far faster than they realized.
What's
Look how
up,
big
little
your
bunny?
ears are.
You stupid ears.
The bunny
so
was just
stupid.
a little stressed, but he was fast. Yeah.
Come on, guys! I
But
just
they
wanna-
were like in
I
my
just wanna run around
driveway
the
hunting
yard.
this bunny. I'm like, leave the bunny alone.
Just
he's
eating
a little
grass.
kid.
Leave me alone.
Like, leave him alone. Don't
Chuck
torture
just
small
jumped off his roof like,
Leave the bunny alone.
That's right.
Do you realize what you did?
What'd I do?
You Chuck Norris that bunny.
I did.
Right? Every Chuck Norris movie, somebody gets cornered in a diner or an alley or something, and then Chuck
Chuck comes
swoops
out.
in. He's like, "Why don't you leave that little bunny
Leave
alone?"
that little
You know what I'm
bunny
saying?
alone.
And then
yeah.
now, like,
To be fair, well, I don't know if that's the right word. Later, the bunny was just chilling by the side of the driveway looking at me, and I'm
Right.
like, hey, I got your back. Buddy.
that's what I'm saying.
that's what's
what I'm
up.
saying,
There you
dude.
go. There you go. We got
That's
our own
awesome.
Chuck show
I
coming
like
up
that
here.
bunny. He's a nice bunny.
Did you roundhouse kick those kids?
No, I did not do that.
I tried.
Paid money for that.
He jumps in to save the dog and punches a guy to death in
One punch.
hit.
Yeah, one punch
does.
guy. Yeah.
See, One Punch Man stole from this too.
Even Tars is like, "You killed him in one." That was he retired today.
That's what we're doing here today. This is the retirement
This
party.
is Frank's retirement
They
party.
start
Can't
bringing
believe
the
you
cake
just
out. They're like, not now, not now.
Yeah.
Bad timing. Send it
Where
back.
he's a jolly good fellow. No. Get back.
No one did seem to care very much about that guy
No.
getting killed. But then they do raise their babies kind of weird, and they're like, oh.
It was like a
kinda
work
separation.
party kind of
Yeah,
retirement thing where you
I
don't
get that.
really care about the person
Right.
retiring.
It's like a
They're like, it's all
perfunctory-
right.
You have
It
to
was
go.
his time to go.
Right.
At this point, I have to say, so I'm watching this movie with my daughter.
Okay.
She starts out like most of these movies. She's watching her phone mostly.
Yeah.
But by this point, the monster dog in this scene, the phone is down, and
Oh.
she's with us the whole rest of the movie.
Hey,
Very impressed.
all right.
And she's
Nice.
16, so that's impressive.
This is the point, though, too, where we kind of missed where the daughter gives him that drink. And that's how
that's
he
how-
now
oh, yeah.
understands
All the
they can
language.
all speak the
all
same
in English
language
now.
in
Yeah.
this fight,
I did
right?
appreciate that. I would have liked
God.
if they had talked about, apparently there are some oxygen.
They 13 warriored it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they all blame Sola. It's Sola's fault that he got out, and he's like, you got no more spots to get branded, and he has to brand her like as a punishment.
Kind of
Okay,
She's
if
in a lot of trouble.
every spot on your body's been branded, though,
Yeah.
That might be your problem.
I think maybe they've been pretty generous. Like,
We haven't done the bottoms of her feet yet, sir. I guess we could do that. It's like when you don't want to lose Hangman and you keep adding parts. Like, what about his shoes?
he's like, no, there is no more space.
She's either really troublesome or they're like don't like her.
No, not at all.
Real harsh.
And right before he's about to get branded, they scream flyers, and these light planes are in. And what happens is they have nothing to do with the Tharks, but they're having a air battle
Close to
them, right? And it's red team, blue team again, because the red leader's like, "Where's my wife? I'm gonna kill her because she's not here."
Yeah.
Literally searching for her.
Trying to kill her.
That he's supposed to marry. He finds her ship and he's like, "We're gonna blow it up, right?" And they had the space monk has to be like, "Whoa! How about you just disable the ship, dude?"
Not really how you gonna
Like,
win her.
it's really like,
Let's tone
I-
it down a notch.
if I kill her, that'll show her.
That'll show her.
then she'll marry me.
Right.
You're missing the point. What?
Seriously,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Nobody makes me
I
believe
forgot.
my own blood. Nobody.
She sneaks into one of the other ships. He's like flipping up the mask.
And there's
on
the
every
line
person.
here where we learn John Carter's character again. He's like,
Yes.
they're the red and the blue, and it looks like it's an unfair fight.
Yeah, well, and the Reds never fight fair.
They never fight fair.
Thark tells
Whoa.
him. Yeah.
Calm down there.
Hey, what do you mean by that?
I'm just over here trying to hang out, have a good time.
Have one of the guys from the ship go, "What do you mean, you people?"
Okay, but this is where she's like hanging from the ledge, right?
Well, yeah, so she gets into her own ship. She sneaks into her own ship and rams the ship through the other one.
Yes.
But ends up knocking her out, and she's hanging by the edge of one of the wings. And that's where John, looking through a telescope, goes, "It's a human!"
A human.
And mein Lieben. I just don't know why I said that in German, but yes.
Leaping. Mine leaping.
Mein Lieben.
Species this much, John?
And catches her.
Yeah.
Catches her. Yes.
She's bewildered, right? Who are you? What?
Who's this handsome man?
Get behind me, ma'am. It's about to get
This is good
dangerous.
scene. I like this.
And she's like, okay.
He takes her sword.
He would have snapped her vertebrae.
Oh, it would have been
Like
a
her
Gwen
neck
Stacy
just snaps as he grabs her.
Oops.
100%.
My
Be a
bad.
new princess.
Whoopsies.
Right? That's the thing. Okay, so I'll just say this now about his jumping. For the most part, they try to do their best with the physics. Like he's leaping very far, he's catching people, they're on their shoulders, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a couple times where like gravity doesn't work this way, where he's able to jump towards the ground faster than she's falling.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that wouldn't really,
I don't know if that works.
that doesn't really work. But like, I'm nitpicking here, but
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah.
I have to say, I thought this flying ship's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting
100%.
design. It's kind of steampunkish in their controls and like metal poles, but
they look
wood
like
stuff
they
too.
look like feathered wings.
yeah,
You
pretty
know,
neat.
good stuff. Anyway,
Yeah, it seems like everything's made of glass.
she ends up
Yeah.
getting her sword back. He's like, maybe I should hide behind you because she's just as
she
much of an ass kicker
Kills more so. Actually.
as he is, right?
Okay, but he blows up like 3 ships here to save one person.
John
He's like,
Carter jumps up on one of the ships.
he just like brushes his shoulder like, you don't have to thank me. It's no big deal. I just
did
killed
it.
75 people. Most of them were your people.
Yeah. Whoops. He jumps up, starts taking out ships, and he's going to fire the blue licorice at him, the red leader.
Yes.
And the guy's like, no. Bald Monk's like,
Yeah.
you take him alive. He's like, well, I never get to use this cool toy you gave me, and then I'm never allowed to use
It's
it.
a good point.
I like
It's a
that
good
line.
point. Yeah.
Say it. It's kind of whiny though. Like, this is-
He's like, why give it to me if I can't kill
why do you
somebody
have
with it?
this
Right.
thing?
And
We
they're
at least
about
get
to,
Culvers after this.
Red leader is about to kill John Carter, and the Tharks start shooting, and they all run away. And basically, long story short, bad guys take off, and it's just the princess and John back on the ground with the Tharks. And they're like, "You are now my right arm."
He says, "You are ugly, but you are
right-
beautiful. Yeah, and you fight like a Thark."
That's right.
Yeah.
You are now the Dotar Sojat.
My right arms.
My right arms with an
I thought
S.
that was kind of
It's like that. And he's like, "No, I don't want to fight for anybody.
That sounds familiar.
Unless it's a hot girl hanging from a ship.
I mean, I'll
Mind your
fight for
business.
her.
Who wouldn't fight for that?
If this hot chick wants me to fight for her, then maybe I will, but not for this
But let me have some memories of my wife
Yeah,
first.
I gotta have
Give me a
memories of
minute.
my wife. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
four-armed lizard walrus.
I gotta feel guilty for about 2 seconds.
This
The answer
reminds
is
me
no.
of something. Oh yeah, romance.
Here's
My
where
dead wife and kid.
I like how they're like Sola, who just failed
Can
miserably
I
and had to
replace
get
them?
and had to get branded.
Yeah.
They assign her to take care of the princess. I'm like, can you give somebody else the job?
She's got enough
She's
going on.
obviously not qualified.
I
She's
think
got an
that's what ticks off the other
alien
girl.
baby.
Yeah.
Friend of the one Tusk
Oh,
guy.
the guy walks up. He's like, "Look, man, if you don't take this job, I can't guarantee this hot chick's safety." And John's like, "Oh, word.
Good point.
All right." And this is why I hate it.
Say
I know
less,
you guys
fam.
said that John was a good actor. I don't know about that guy. And this part, especially, he was like, "All right, I am Dotar Sojat." Literally just like that.
That's how they talk in Virginia.
Okay.
Virginia.
Well, I think he was unenthusiastic about it
Unenthusiastic. I would agree.
as a character.
But it gets worse because then the
Okay.
princess comes up and she's like, "Where are you from? Where's the skill? If it's a skill, teach it to us. We'll use it against the red people." And he's like, "It's not a skill, all right? I don't." He's like, and he says something about flying. She's like, "Your ships don't fly on light." This is where he's like, "No, ours sail on the sea." And he's just the way he's talking to her. It's just.
He's like, I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I think I'm interested to hear what you have to say here, James.
He sucks. I just think he sucks. I'm sorry. And
No, you've been known to have bad taste.
big hand movements. Like somebody be like behind him, like Solo tries to pipe in the conversation, like, "No, don't say," like with the full hand, all fingers extended.
Sticks him up in the nose.
Like just like that kind of stuff. Just do a little less, I guess.
That's why they made all the aliens 6 feet taller than him, so he
Yeah.
wouldn't.
He kept hitting him.
Yeah, in their faces.
Maybe
I
because
like,
he was on TV a lot. I don't know.
I like this scene though.
Yeah.
I think it's the scene.
Yeah.
Where they're like flirting a little bit,
Yeah.
and Sola goes, "Time for playfulness later." Or
yeah,
something
She
like that.
Slaps him on
spanks
the
him
ass.
because she's trying to figure out how he jumps.
Yeah. I thought that.
I don't want playfulness with him. I want answers.
Yeah.
And this is where he's like, "Did you say planet?" And then
Yes.
it cuts to them
Yes.
with the rocks going through the solar system.
Yeah.
Something Soom, Jassoom. You mean Earth and
Barsoom.
Oh.
Does Zoom just mean planet? Because we can skip that part.
He's like, "This is where I'm from."
I assume this is not needed.
Venus.
Right. And then he finally goes, "This is so stupid, you guys." He looks at, "I'm on Mars?"
Mars.
And then he looks up in the sky, and there's
moons.
2 moons.
Well, I don't know if I think it's all one day though so far. Been a busy day for him.
Still, there's 2
Yes.
moons.
Well, he realized.
And then he says it again. "I'm on Mars?" Well, you're not on Earth unless the moon just crapped out another moon. Where did you think you
That'd
were?
just be one of those shock moments. Mars.
I think you'd be really disoriented from traveling through space and you're a copy of yourself.
This is where I turned to my wife and I said,
Fine. Then how isn't sorry, but how isn't he? Maybe when the walrus lizards took you prisoner, that was a clue that you weren't on Earth.
"Oh, good point."
Okay.
Well, maybe he
I
just
just
hadn't been this
The
far
flying
west
glass
yet.
ships, maybe? I don't know.
Wait. I'm not on Earth?
This is in Idaho.
Come on now. He hasn't seen all the world. He's like, okay, I guess I went farther enough west.
Oh.
I'm seeing some flying things. And some
Canada's
lizard
weird.
people. Yeah, right.
It's not as cold as I thought.
No wonder we wanted that in 1812.
What were you saying your wife said? I'm sorry.
No, this is where I turned to my wife and said, "I'm waiting for a monkey with a helmet who likes bananas." Or a hat.
Yes.
That's a Futurama reference.
Yes. There you
Yeah,
go.
There's a whole
100%.
university on Mars.
All right, long story short, she's
Named
like,
Luthor, I think.
she thinks he's a Thurn, so she's going to take him into the temple to show him how to get back to Thurnville or wherever she thinks.
Thurnville? Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they were all excited about that.
And Sola's like,
Or
you can't-
Sola again.
you cannot go in.
They're playing with Sola's life here.
For real.
This is my adopted mommy on
Yeah.
Mars, and she's like, "It doesn't matter. She doesn't matter. She got
Whatever.
Hey, take us where their sacred temple is.
Sacred temple. This is a
Nothing
bad
ever
idea.
bad happens when you go in a sacred temple.
Jumped up onto the thing, like at the altar, and they're like messing around with it. And Sola's
He's
like,
licking the
Guys.
text to try to read it.
"We are not supposed to play around on the stage at church." That's
right.
Okay.
That's pretty much
This
it,
is-
yes.
Get down. I'm going to get busted. Get out of here.
Well, and he like presses her so hard against the wall. I mean, it's almost rapey.
brother.
Because he's just like, "Can you read this?" Yeah, I can read it. Get off
you
of me, you
feel this?
weirdo. I can feel other things going
It's
on.
kind of a narrow
Is
shelf.
that a medallion in your pocket? Get off of me, you weirdo.
Just trying to make sure you don't fall.
Is this before or after?
You don't have to pin me to the
he puts
wall.
his hand out to shake, and she goes,
Yes, this is
Yes.
when they
You
she
shake
says, "I'm
it.
going to
"I'm
help
totally
you."
going to shake hands like that from now on."
She's like, "Good enough."
Let me practice.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Good enough.
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable. I like that.
I love
That's
it.
pretty nice. It feels much more.
We should have done that during COVID.
You like that better?
What do you think
Instead of the
someone would
fist
do
bump.
if you did that to them for real?
That should have been the COVID shake.
Yes.
Try it.
Did a little ring a bell?
Yeah.
They come out of one of the other Tharks catch them, and They bring him out to Tars.
Yeah, I think that's the girl. That's the one I don't know her
She
name, but
sucks.
she's the right-hand girl of the guy with one tusk.
Right, because there's another Thark that wants the throne, but
Yeah.
Thomas Hayden Church voices that guy. And
They're
Sandman?
just like the wild Tharks or something, right? They
Yeah.
were like super violent. They were
Yeah.
like the Tharks on drugs or something.
and they bring him out and like, these guys were going to steal the secrets and take it back to Earth and like just spouting all this stuff that wasn't true. But Tars is like, are you kidding me? You knew she had no more spots to be branded. Sola's going to
Yeah.
they're going to kill her for this. I can't get in the tent. I'm totally going to kill these three in this
I'll be
tent.
back in a minute.
I'm so mad
Nobody
at
come
them.
in here.
No, you wait here. I'll go in. I'll take care of this myself.
I'm just so mad at them. I'll
I am
murder
very
them all.
disappointed. I will give them a strongly worded.
Yes.
And it's been like 20 minutes, and one Tusk guy's like looking at his watch, like, should I go in there? Should I not go in
The
there?
2 moons have already passed each other, so I
Stay
think
out there. I'm murdering them right now.
I'm being so hurtly bad and wounded.
He gets in the tent.
The
he's
white
like,
ape guy human's really hard to kill.
Taking a
Got
long
really
time.
big bones.
Ching chang, walla walla, bing bang.
he gets in the tent. He's like, look, I'm going to let you guys go. All right? Go out the other side of the tent. No one will ever think to watch the other
Look
side
on
of
the
the
other
tent.
side of the tent.
Okay. I fell for that Did the other side of the tent test? I fall for that every time. I always say, put somebody on the other side of the tent.
Been awfully quiet in there. You think
Okay.
they're still in there?
Time for a road trip. Sola and Deja and John take off with Frog Dog. And
Well, this is where John, when they're leaving, also figures out, he's like, wait, she's your daughter.
Yeah.
Which they're eggs.
Right.
You don't actually know that she's your daughter.
he just raised her.
And nobody cares.
It really didn't matter.
Fit is
No.
the stupidest plot.
Turns out, though, that Deja, instead of taking them to what she says is the
Isis.
Isis, the river that goes to the temple where he supposed the answers are going to be, she's actually taking them to Helium because she wants John to fight against the Zardonians or Zodangos.
Her argument is,
The Zardons?
once you got there and saw, you'd want to help. Like,
Yes.
What? I thought this was funny too. He turns to, Sola says, she's not taking us to Isis.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, follow my lead. And then just goes, you're not taking us to Isis.
We need Sola to be like real subtle, John.
Yeah, I was like, what did he need to follow there?
Great.
What was the lead?
I got
Just start
branded for
yelling at him there? So,
He cuts Deja's saddle off the lizard and sends the lizard running away. I was
Just
like,
spanks it, just it goes running.
freedom!
Which I think those were in Star Wars as well.
It's like a dick move.
this totally reminded me of, I didn't want to marry him, so I ran away. It totally reminded me of Spaceballs.
Yeah, 100%. Because
That was her whole motivation too, was it not?
she's screaming and yelling at them, and they're just kind of slowly walking away. Like, hold on, she'll come around. And finally, she says, I just don't want to marry him. Oh,
there it is.
Oh, yeah.
She's a base.
Who knew?
She cries. She begs for help. She's on the ground going, I would do anything.
Well-
I would sacrifice anything for Helium.
Issue number 4
Except for
with him-
myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So issue number 4 is, so she just trips and he's like, leaps off this lizard thing and he's like, are you okay? Like, what?
I was going to ban you and leave you
Bro.
for dead, but I don't want you to fall over and skin your knee.
Well, he wasn't
Like,
really.
play it cool, brother. Like,
I will love you and hug you and name you George.
and then she's like, wouldn't you do anything to help? And he's like, clearly you wouldn't do this. Like, what is the dude's name?
Yeah,
Blue
if
light
you
guy?
would sacrifice anything, then you would marry Red Leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta, sleep with him once, and then you just be like,
Sob-Dub's not
not
that
tonight, honey.
bad.
You got a headache.
Doesn't John say as much to her? Doesn't he
much,
say
yeah.
like, well, then marry him and save your people?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
put
doing
on the blue glove and just kill him.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was. Yes.
Yes.
You know all about the ninth ray or whatever?
Yeah,
Don't you some
ninth
kind of
ray, that
thought?
guy.
Seriously.
I saw it sitting on your dad's fridge.
You gotta
Finish your
play-
job.
Seriously, you got to play long game now.
That's right.
So she didn't really make sense.
Just poison his coffee every morning for 9 years.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit at a time.
A little bit of drop of blue light.
It's been really difficult to watch him fade away like this.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Ultimately,
Taylor's
she's
oldest
like-
time. That one.
Oh, oh. Unfortunately,
Gives him the old blue light special.
she's
Got the blue light district.
she does do an about face and says, "Fine, I'll take you to the river," which I was real shocked to see a river on Mars.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused.
I thought it was gonna be like a dust river.
Yeah.
I know. I,
I thought
was like,
I totally did.
beautiful, gorgeous, lush
Wadi.
river.
Yeah.
Why not live there?
Lies. All lies.
Yeah.
We've been fed lies our entire
And
lives.
I never saw any of these people drink anything.
Never once.
Never once. Yeah.
So
They just suck it in.
yeah.
they
Air.
they all sail down the river of Is, and they get to this like temple-looking thing in the middle where these people make pilgrimages to, and he's like,
It's not really like a temple. It looks like it could be a like a naturally formed structure though to a point.
But it pivots.
And my daughter
Yeah.
noticed it looks a whole lot like Millennium Falcon.
Yes, it does.
You don't say.
Weird.
Weird. He's like, oh, let's see what's up there. Grabs the princess, leaves Soul on the boat, and just jumps up top.
She'll be fine.
It changes and open. They go down the blue licorice hallway and into like the Mars planetarium. Okay. It's like all these projections of the solar system on the ground. And he's
How
like,
it was
"A
built. Yeah, what's
spider,"
going
right?
on. Yeah.
A spider. No, it's 9 lines.
The whole
buddy.
thing.
That's
it's
a
all,
sun.
Was all narrated by Morgan Freeman in there, you know, right?
The planet you're on now.
That's right. They need basically they step on Earth. That shows all these lines to different planets. There's alien like calligraphy, and he's like, "What do you think this means?" I think this is the word for copy, and this is the word for travel. And she's like, "I'm a copy.
I'm a telegram.
She's like, I can't read it. Well, what do you think it says?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, okay, let me just magically read it now.
Blippity blarp blarp blip. I don't. If I can't read it, how do I know what? I think it might say that this is the 9th ray. And
Oh, yeah.
It's all
yeah, it does.
nice juice. I knew I was onto something.
This guy will believe anything.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, you know where we could go, and I could get the answers for this.
Super convenient. It's back at home. I really promise you it is.
The Hall of Science.
Hall of Science. He's like, I'm not going there,
Right.
but it's the only place we'll find this stuff. All right, let's go there.
All right, you convinced me.
And as they jump out, we see this angry horde on the horizon.
Crazy
of
Tharks.
crazy Tharks.
Why
Are
were
they
all-
different?
I think because remember,
Yeah,
the other Thark leader was like, John's going to help us fight these guys in the north and these guys in the south. And he's
I
talking
think it's
about
like
these-
another band
Yeah,
of
it's
Tharks.
another group of them.
They were really angry.
But one of the
And they had like
Tharns-
face paint and stuff,
Yeah.
like war paint on. Yeah.
one of the Tharns was manipulating them because he's standing up there too, going,
that's
right. Cut them off at the pass or whatever cliche he said, and then you'll kill them all or whatever.
But I need him. Didn't he want him alive?
He wants the princess
John
alive.
Princess alive. He's like John will
princess
see what he can
Yeah,
do
that's
basically,
right,
right?
that's
And so
right, that's right.
they're paddling really fast to get back to the frog dog. Oh, wait,
Okay.
wait.
They're paddling in essentially a corn husk canoe. Okay. They outpace all these guys on
John
lizard
Carter,
back.
John Carter, man. They had big paddles.
You think that's what it was?
Yeah, big paddles.
They just have a huge wake
I
behind
should
them.
have
like,
showed that. Yeah, that'd be
I mean, if he can jump that high, can't he kick his legs fast enough
Like
to
a-
make
they're
that
doing a
boat
daft
go?
or
Like
a
a cigarette boat, just
doing a Donald Duck
No, I was
paddle.
thinking
Like
of the kid Dash in Incredibles where he's
yeah.
on the
we
raft.
needed him
Run on
having
the water.
more superpowers
Yeah.
than they actually showed him, right? Oh my gosh.
This is where I said there's a lot of characters and pieces that I'm a little confused about. A lot happening in this film.
I should say, we skipped one important thing. Before he jumped out of the thing, he did kiss her at the end of their little
That's
science.
right.
Yes.
They got
And
played.
he flashed back to his wife.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. His wife. We see his wife.
Yeah. And she's like, I know you. I know you don't want to fight. I know you just want your cave of gold because, he's like, I do want my
He's
cave
like,
of
I'll
gold.
get you back to your cave of gold.
Do you know how much gold is in that cave?
There's a lot of gold.
Does she know what
It's
gold?
literally a cave full of gold. She's
I
like,
got-
cool, gold.
Gold.
What's that?
Do you know how many women I can get with that?
Do you know what dominoes are?
Yeah.
I got a bunch of them in there.
Do you know how many beans I can buy with that?
That's what
I got to get beans,
Beans.
man.
She's like, what are those?
They're magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot, baby.
All right.
And the more you toot,
Wait
the better
till
you
see
feel.
that. Yeah.
So once they get out into the field, he sends the princess with Sola and basically says, "Go on without me. I'm going to stop here and fight these guys." And I love that the frog dog stays with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Loyal dog.
Loyal dog. That thing is awesome.
Well, the mom, adopted mom, Sola,
Yeah.
is like, you belong to him now. Like
Right.
the dog thinks that he owns John. So that it was kind of cool. Yeah, very cool.
Yes.
Sassy.
I loved this scene.
It was epic.
Yeah. Dude, so he's got this whole horde of angry space lizards coming at him.
he's tough.
It's just him. And the way that it's a big swing thematically for what's supposed to just be a fun popcorn movie when he's intercutting it with images of his dead,
Dead
wife
and kid and burying them.
the shovel hits with the sword hits.
Yes.
It was like artistic on a level you don't usually see from these kinds of movies.
It made
Sure.
you feel something while you're watching it.
I made
Yeah.
me
Sure.
feel uncomfortable and like I don't think they should have made that connection.
No?
No.
All right. I personally I enjoy it. Added some pathos to me to the
Ooh,
to the
word, yeah.
to the moment.
Some what?
But he goes
I
absolutely
think.
It's like corn chips.
My wife used to say I
yeah,
need
I
more
love those.
pathos in my sermons, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, honey, I don't really know what that means. I never told her that. I said, okay, dear, I'll try. And
Totally,
then
you're gonna-
next Sunday, was there pathos in that?
You're not even going to believe how much pathos this next one has in it. It's littered with it. He leaps into this group of lizards, and he doesn't just he kills all of them.
Every
Just starts hacking them.
single
Apart
one.
and stuff.
He's
rough.
leaping, killing, slashing. But my favorite shot of the whole scene is this wide arc. This dog
Yes.
runs like, and he leaps like sideways through and just takes
Yes.
the dude out.
Snatches a guy off a
Absolutely.
lizard
Yes.
and just gone.
That was awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
The best shot to me in the
100%.
entire movie.
It was so good.
incredible.
It was a good
Incredible.
fight scene. It was a little melodramatic for me.
So okay, I get what you're saying. It was right on that line, but easily I think it could be viewed either way.
Yeah,
So what do you mean by melodramatic?
just
They're using a lot of
over the
big
top.
words today.
Like,
Yeah, I
just a
know.
little
I'm
too,
just chilling. I'm learning.
I'm
here
two
too.
things maybe shouldn't go together, is my opinion.
I got you.
Yeah, it's
I
just
got you.
too- they're trying to make you feel too much.
That shot of her dead body, I was shocked
Yes.
was in
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that is straight up her cradling a dead child. And it was quick, but it was there. And
was
usually
intense.
Disney like infers those kinds of things, not just there it is.
Unless
Yeah.
you're a deer
Right, unless you're a deer, then they'll murder a deer mom.
Hey, that was off scene
or a
too.
parent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, or a
Parents.
stepmom.
Yeah.
Like they did in Tangled.
He seems like he's maybe being overwhelmed, and then he's saved by blue space dad. Shows up, and he's like, "Oh, she's like, oh, Dad, you saved me and John and cool." But Red Leader is with him, and she's pissed. She's like, "Oh, you brought him here. This is the whole."
I told you you're getting married, woman. I mean,
He's like,
daughter. You're doing this. You're doing it.
And Red Leader's like, "No, I'm actually a pretty chill dude."
I'm a good
I'm
guy.
just a chill guy.
Yeah.
Pulls out a lawn chair and
I
sits
need
down.
love too. I need love. We can make this work, babe.
No, I was actually just super worried about.
I was super worried.
That's why I almost blew up your ship. He was chasing you super violently.
Did these lizards try to kill you?
Yeah, seriously.
I will mess them up.
What I want to know is, are you okay?
That's right.
Tharks are liars, man. They're manipulators. Don't listen to them.
He's gaslighting her the whole time.
His hand's starting to
No,
glow
you
blue.
are the one attacking me.
Right.
Do you know how attacked I feel right now?
Right. I was trying to get everybody. I was confused.
Yeah. It's. Can we just wipe it clean? It was a bad start. Let's just
bad start.
let's just reconnect.
Here.
Can we call this the first date again?
Why are you
got
acting so crazy?
I got you a present. It's not flowers. It's a giant sword. But
You can
I
chop
heard
my head off.
you
if
like
want.
this kind of stuff. You're the tough.
I saw what you did on that
chick.
planet.
Yeah. So here you,
You
go.
can't
And she-
blame me. I mean, everybody had blue or red capes. It was really
Yeah,
hard to
it's
tell us apart.
confusing.
Like,
Everybody else was doing it.
You had a helmet on. I didn't know it was you.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Just
this,
chill.
This
Just
guy, John
relax.
Carter. What do we know about him? We
don't know.
You're making a big decision here. We don't know him. He could be a total creep. You know
Right.
me at least.
He could be a serial killer.
He's
You hear about this all the time.
serious.
People hitch and ride on lizards.
You should have seen that battlefield I just flew over.
He
The
doesn't
man's
even
insane
belong
and
here.
unhinged.
He's
he
pale.
does. He's not one of us.
Yeah, he's not one of us.
His blood is red.
He's pale. I don't know.
If you have children with him,
His
and the
skin is
baby
different
kicks, you'll
colored.
fly across
Right.
the room.
What do we know about him? We run a background check yet?
Yeah. Your dad's got your best interest in mind.
Right. Come on. Come on in.
Women
disturbing
love it
how-
when you tell them to just sit down and relax.
Yeah, it's disturbing
down.
how manipulative
Yeah,
we can
calm
be.
down.
No, they all get taken. They all get taken to Topanga's palace or whatever. And this is when now he's got a small part in this. He's like
This is one of my favorites.
the second in command to Blue Space Dad is like the head of their military, played by James Purvoy, who played the Prince of England in Knight's Tale, and he was in Resident Evil. He was the bad guy in the first Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And I really like him. He comes into John's bedroom where they're holding
Yes.
him prisoner.
So good.
And he's
Such a
like,
great scene.
we need to move him to more secure location. Well, we didn't have any orders. Well, you're hearing the orders right now.
Yeah.
I hear
like-
you're really strong. Wink.
I hear you're incredibly dangerous. Take me prisoner.
What?
What?
I don't.
He
What do you
like
mean?
jingles his sword. Like,
Yeah,
Take
that's
me
a nice
prisoner.
sword. I got it.
Bro
Right.
is
What are you
slow.
trying to-
Like, real slow.
I know you're from Virginia, man, but
So much in fact that he takes his own sword,
Yes.
puts it to his own neck, and no one notices.
He's gonna kill me.
Nobody. He's gonna kill me.
Everybody drop their swords.
Take my sword. Hurry.
these idiot guards like, did you see him take that guy's sword?
That was amazing. He did it with his own hand.
John Carter can mind control. He's trying to take himself hostage.
It's like Blazing Saddles.
It was.
It was.
Everybody drop their swords.
That's it. That's the scene.
Or
I
this
was trying to
redskin
think
gets it.
about. I'm like, this reminds me of something.
serious.
It's Blazing Saddles. That's right.
Nobody move or the Redskin gets it.
I was so happy because Purvoy he's a great actor. Doesn't have much to do in this movie.
No.
that was
So
It was
funny.
That was
funny.
one of the best scenes.
Yeah.
that was really,
That was such a
really,
good
really
scene.
good.
This is where they bust
They
out.
get up onto the top of this building. They run out, and he's like, "She told me you could make this leap all the way. It's clear across. It's like
a
jumping from Lake County to Cook
long
County. Okay, it's just like
over
Yeah.
Lake Michigan.
right." He's like, "She told you I could do that." He's like, "Yeah, like what do you? We could surrender. Is that what you do on Earth?"
No,
Just
I
give
think
up
I could do it.
surrender? He piggybacks him like it's Twilight, and
Hang on, Spider Monkey.
hang on, Spider Monkey, as if you could outleap me, and he jumps across
Yeah.
the whole city.
And then grabs onto the edge and it just busts.
Yes.
Right.
You know
And
what he could have
surprise,
done?
surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, what could he have done?
He could have just jumped a couple times. You didn't
Yeah.
have to do it
I
one
thought that
jump.
too. They could have just done a cool 3 jumps.
Yeah,
Leap tall buildings in a single bound.
It's like, you watch this. I'm going to bounce off this plane. Nothing but net.
Yeah.
It's like Jordan from the free throw line, right? He's like kind of make it the whole way.
I don't follow badminton.
And then,
Oh, that's a sports reference.
and then, surprise, surprise, he's in Deja's room
with her ladies
all
in
her
waiting.
ladies in waiting. I was thinking of
yeah.
so much
Aladdin.
peril.
Bro,
Oh.
she is.
Aladdin.
Let me go back in there and face the
Go
peril.
face the peril. No,
No,
it's too peril.
Well, I could stay a bit longer.
I'm like, oh, it's a panty raid. That's what the guy wants.
Purvoy was the one who was like, hello.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah.
He was like, hello, ladies.
ladies.
He's like, she told me we
looking
need
around.
to get into this room. she's straight up like dressed real like.
Yes.
Provocatively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she has to. She
Good
speaks
word.
to that and says, "Well, this is traditional
that's right.
Topanga wedding attire, right?"
He's like, looks nice.
And he's like, what? I'm sorry. What did you say? I got some hard feelings in my pants.
she says, "Give me a reason not to get married, right? Like, are you gonna fight?" And this is where she pulls out the amulet. She says, "I went to the Hall of Science and I figured out the words that you have to say." And she starts to say the words.
Tosa, nosa,
Feratu, collecto, ferrata, nectu.
necktie.
Weiss.
Right. What? And then gets to the last word, Barsoom or Jasum,
Jasum. Yeah.
and he doesn't say it. He starts to say it,
You
and then
think he says it.
You think he might have said it. He turns around. The bad guys are red leader, and then we're coming in the door, and she turns around. And he's gone.
And she starts to tear up.
And she's
Yeah.
let off. She thinks he's zoomed back to Virginia, and she's let off to go to the wedding, but he's really just leapt into the ceiling.
Yep.
If any of them had just been like, look up.
Right? It was the Spider-Man. It was the Spider-Man scene though, right? Where
Right.
he's just like hanging.
It
was
was
like,
a
he's
little
in the
indented.
ceiling.
You know, they had kind of a cool 3D special thing.
I really wish they would have done this a little differently. Like, they could have put him to the inside.
But when you know his whole thing is leaping,
Right.
Maybe I should look
Nobody
up.
look up.
Nobody. Guess he's not in here.
I was hoping he jumped and it wasn't and like opening just smashes into the ceiling.
Oh, my neck.
It's just like Looney Tunes into the ceiling.
There's a shape of him in the ceiling, just an outline
No,
of him.
it's still the shape of Roger Rabbit, even though it's him.
Please.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, so she's let off. As he comes off the ceiling and goes into the hallway, one of the women is still there, but it's actually the Thurn. It's
Thurn.
Mark Strong,
Yep.
who we last saw in the Green Lantern movie we covered. Was,
Oh, yeah, he was Sinestro.
Sinestro, right?
Yeah, he was also in, what's the other DC movie he was in where he was the bad guy?
Was he the bad guy?
Shazam.
Oh, see, I haven't seen that one
Yeah.
yet. I like Mark Strong as an actor.
he's good.
He basically zaps him with the ninth raid juice to like bind him like within his skin. It looked
Yeah, it
weird.
was kind of
Yeah.
chains.
Around his
It was a
neck.
cool
Yeah.
effect.
It was
Yeah.
cool.
And then he's got like the little iPhone watch
Right.
that basically controls his
Oh no,
blue
that's
light.
Apple Play. Hold
Right.
on.
And he knows all about Earth. He's like, what if that accent is like Tennessee or Virginia? And he like, so he's
He knows
clearly
what's up.
scoped out Earth. And we get a little expo here as the guy's leading him, they're following this wedding procession.
Right.
And he's changing into different people
That
and
was cool.
marching them along. Yeah.
It reminded me totally of the Faceless Man in Game of Thrones.
Yes. And
Is it Faceless Man or name? I think
no, the faceless man.
yeah.
And he basically is saying, we don't actively have a side, right? Or a cause. We just
Like to cause chaos.
facilitate
right? Yeah.
the end of planets. And
We
then
choose how it's going to happen or what's going to happen.
and we kind of feed off of it.
Yeah.
And so to insinuate, and the way I took this is that's why by the time we could get into space, Mars is a desolate, like empty place where nothing is there anymore.
I see.
And that Earth is next.
Yeah, they like
essentially, right?
Yes.
They drain planets basically.
Right. So that's the way I took it. I don't know if that's actually what they were intending, but that's essentially what's happening. So that's why they're trying to sow discord and bring about the
Chaos.
chaos.
That's where he
and all
tells
of
them that
stuff,
their
right?
plan for the princess marriage,
Yeah, they're going to kill her,
and
which will basically plunge the planet into further chaos and all of that stuff, right? Anyway, Space Dog saves him,
Bites the Apple Watch.
bites the Apple Watch off the dude. All right, I'm just going to say it.
This guy was like, I should have got the protection plan.
It's a speeder bike from Star Wars.
Yes,
Yeah.
speeder bike from Star Wars.
All right.
It is.
For someone that was born before the Wright brothers, bro understood lift versus dragon rotation pretty well.
Yeah.
And picked up flying real easily.
Yeah.
He
Very
crashed
fast.
around for a few minutes and then
Yeah.
This movie is so full of tropes. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's just written
Wait. This
where everything is
Yeah.
like from the love story to how it's
Yes.
done.
thing, though, this movie's the originator
yes.
of all these.
It's not a trope
Yeah.
that everybody still. But the problem is that the movie wasn't made for so long. Everyone thinks
Yes.
that the opposite is true.
Sure.
But he fumbles around with this first flight. But by the next time he jumps on a speeder bike,
good.
he's
got
like,
it.
"Let's go,
Let's go."
And he's literally like, "Dude's a quick study." He's gonna get back to Earth and be like, "Bro, I wish we had a plane here. Maybe I should invent it
I should-
because I'm actually the greatest pilot
My name
in the
is
world."
Wilbur.
The only thing he's good at learning quickly is machinery.
Yes.
Every other like conversation, he's always like, "Duh,
I'm
what?"
a dummy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of bitter.
He gets the medallion.
That's like most men.
So Sola is the one that takes the dude out, and he's able to get away with Sola.
Is this
and,
where she's like, "Get behind me"? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of a reversal.
right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, we got to save Deja, but I need an army to do it. So instead of going to stop the wedding, which is still going on, they need to go get an army of Tharks.
Yes.
And so he marches into the Thark thing. He's like, I'm their Deja, Sorja, Data, Kada, Sabada, whatever. But when he marches into the freaking leader's tent, he's like, "What's up, dude? I need your."
Yeah, and her dad's nowhere to be found.
Never mind. I don't want to do this anymore.
Forget it. I don't want to do this. It's, how many Conus Tusks? One. Crap. It gets thrown in the dungeon where the original leader, Willem Dafoe, is down in the dungeon. And he's like, "Well, at least my daughter's safe." Yeah, so
Sorry.
Good news, bad news.
and he's like on death's door and he wakes up, suddenly has enough
second win there.
energy
Yeah,
to
dude.
beat him
Like
up.
he took one of those stim packs in I don't know what game that comes from. It's like,
Yes,
you got my kid. What are you doing? Let's go save the world.
And then he just
gosh.
passes out on top of him, rolls off
Yeah,
of
that
him.
was funny too.
Oh, dude. They end up in the arena because this is what they wanted to do originally. The evil guy was like, "Let him die in the arena."
Yep.
Which is now like a Ben-Hur moment.
Right.
Yeah.
As they're being led into, I like this line where Sola is like, "We're gonna die." He's like, "Weren't you the one that said that as long as a Thark has Thars was the one that said," he goes, "As long as you have a head and an arm that you can conquer," and he goes, "Your spirit annoys me."
Yeah. Almost like, shut up. Quit using my words against me. I hate you so much.
Yeah, I like the relationship those two had.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
They get in there, they chain him to a rock, and immediately I'm like, "Well, that's stupid. He'll just snap that chain." Like,
Shane, yeah.
no problem.
This is a thick chain, though.
This is
Thicker.
real thick, I guess.
This is probably what they use for the white
Why I
apes.
was gonna
Which
say
I
it's
love
white ape.
because there was a couple of times where they cut to it. And you can literally see, like, if you just pull the chain, you can get it to
was,
unhook
Yes. Oh, you're good.
like a paper
Yeah,
clip.
it's
There's a
stop.
gap.
Yeah.
Stop pulling.
And you're like, wait a minute.
that's
Just
supposed to be.
pull it back this way.
Supposed to be the Disney D.
That's how
That's what it was. Yeah.
What they should have done is had him just be like, and then just like flip it over.
just flip it over. Because if you're pulling it tight, you're working against
No,
yourself.
come this way. Come this way.
this way.
Yeah.
All the Tarks are talking mad crap. There's that one girl who's like talking crap from the stands, you know.
Well, and what a huge switch too. Like, and from the beginning of the movie, they all follow Willem Dafoe, and are very like, we're pro this guy.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they switch.
Well, 'cause he
and it's
lost
only
in the
been like
battle.
what, like a few days.
Challenged for authority. I guess they
Yeah.
really take.
It was like the Postman. It was like the Postman all over again,
If
right?
you-
They challenged for leadership of the
Yeah.
clan.
If
But
you lose,
nobody was like,
right, the horde wins. Is
Yeah.
kind of what they were saying.
Yeah.
So you go with whatever the popular vote is.
They let the first white ape out, and I'm like, they thought he was a white ape.
Seriously, I'm like, there's the white ape. Now I
He's
get
ugly.
it.
Yeah.
Are we watching
Big,
Rampage all of a sudden? Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just-
Six-legged too, I think, right?
Yeah, well, I don't remember. It was
Yeah,
big.
It was like
Forearms.
Yeah, and hind
they
legs.
have a cave troll. That's all I could think about.
exactly.
Right?
They look just like
It was
that.
just like a hairy cave troll,
And
and
even look like it.
he can't get free of the chain. And then they let a second one out because the leader's like bored by how long this is taking.
And there's
Let
like
the
a
second one
moment
out.
where the Rock kind of cracks. The
Rock was there?
Yeah. Well,
Picks it
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Can you smell? Yeah.
All of a sudden, the Rock's music hits, and the two white.
Well, you said it was
the-
Rampage.
And the two white apes turn around, and they're like, "Oh my!" You hear Jim Ross, "Oh my God, it's the Rock! And the Rock is here!" That would have been amazing, dude.
He just does the flying elbow and just, people's
It's
elbow.
the people's elbow
The
on,
Tark's elbow.
on these jabronis.
He's got 4 arms.
It's the Thark Rock.
It's the Thark Rock. It's the Thark. That's his name.
the Thark.
The Thark comes out. If you smell what the Thark is cooking.
All right, sorry we got off.
Whips
track
out 4 elbow pads. Just tosses them out. People are like,
them all.
oh, that was mine.
He's got a double eyebrow raise.
there. 2 eyebrows. All right, there's the one chick is like bird boxes Sola, and forces her eyes open like, you watch your friends die. We'll watch you die. And Sola pushes her in, and this chick gets ripped in
Yes.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
by
so
one
good.
of these
So this
white
is now in episode 2 is what we're doing.
That's what my wife said. Totally episode 2.
Absolutely. But ultimately, he's able to break the chain and swing the boulder around that's still attached to the end of it.
Yeah.
And just brains one of these
Yes.
monkeys.
Yeah, just
That was
done.
sick.
Tongue
That was sick.
rolls out. Yeah.
And then he's jumping because it's about to kill the Willem Dafoe's character, and he jumps. Sola tosses him the blade, and he falls just underneath it. And he tauntauns this thing.
Goes straight through the animal.
like-
My daughter and I are like, oh, he went through it.
Is Luke Skywalker in there?
Yeah.
Like,
He pulls him out with him.
pulls him out in there. He's shivering. He's like,
It was so cold in there. I would say it was lukewarm.
oh, hey. Nice. And then he's like, I claim the right of challenge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like to the new, Thomas Hayden Church, he's like, you don't have the right. He's like, actually, you made
I'm
your
the Jada Carson.
Dojar Sawjat or whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't even think that
That
was
guy.
right. And
I'm the Jigglypuff.
well, that fight went real quick.
Yeah, when we were
That was
close.
instant.
We got some time. We got only a couple hours left here. We got like 10
Okay.
minutes. Let's get this over.
Well, yeah,
with.
the bad guy
Chopped
leaps
off.
now, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
just done.
Hit
There was a
balls.
moment where the chain comes out, though, of the Rock.
Yeah.
And it's got that like point on it.
Yeah.
I was really hoping he was doing like a scorpion move with it.
Yes.
Like it would have just been great to watch him throw that chain and just
Get over
yeah,
here.
hook somebody. And
I thought he was gonna
I would
stick
thought
it
he
in
was
one
gonna
of them.
hook the bad guy and bring him down. I
Ooh,
thought
that would've
that's
been
what he was
cool.
gonna do.
I need your help to fight Zodanga. They are soft and red. Like we need you to. And they're all like, who's wants to lend me their steel or pledge their steel to me?
And they're all like,
They'll
yeah.
raise their hand.
Well, we learned there maybe they didn't like that guy so much.
Yeah.
They turned
They
pretty quick.
all
on him.
voted.
Yeah.
They get there. It's now nighttime, and Jenna just says, "This wedding is still going on."
Serious? No. Well, maybe he leads in the wrong place.
That's right. Well, that they go to
They go to the wrong
helium.
place, and the dad goes, boom.
He's like, "No, the
Smacks him in the
Like
back
you're
of
an
the head.
idiot.
the
You
wedding's actually
It's over there.
in the other."
Tharks don't fly.
And so he goes by himself.
He's like, we can fly. Tharks don't fly.
Oh,
Okay.
So he takes the speeder bike.
the speeder bike.
But then he also tells him the dad's like, you're an idiot for going by yourself. And he's like, well, then fly. I don't know what to tell you.
You could go.
You
if
could,
you
but
wanted
you're
to.
choosing not to.
It's just super lucky. It's a 9-hour wedding.
Yeah.
Okay,
You lucked out.
lucked out, dude.
She's stumbling on her vows.
Yeah, she's like, John, please come.
Do you, princess,
Come
take this?
rescue me, John.
I really have to use the bathroom. I got to powder my nose. I'll be back.
Good thing she chose the floating platform wedding package, because that takes a long time. They got to drink out of the water goblet together, and
Yeah, we got to do all the,
so
gotta do
many
all the stuff. I
things.
mean, it's a big state wedding. They probably do take a while. If I recall, watching Megan and not Megan, Kate
Markle?
and
Oh yeah,
Kate and William.
Will.
Yeah,
They drank out of the water goblet too.
no, but it was a long wedding.
I think what took so
They
long
lit
is
the candles. They filled the sand thing.
they did all of them. I think what took so long is they had to send someone to the Ishish River or whatever
Yeah.
Oh,
and
holy
fill
water.
it. That's how they got the water.
Holy.
Oh, they got to go all the way over there.
Yeah.
Water's a commodity.
If I only had a boat.
John could have had this. He's got ships that sail on the water.
Yeah.
So do you. They're made out of straw.
Yeah.
Well, a boat sure would be beautiful. I'm like, you're on one.
John could have sailed that river.
We have them here. Did you not know?
I bet Bad Billy could get that right now.
Get that boat on there.
The boat.
You know how long I've been standing here waiting for water?
Oh, I love a good callback to Winners Take All. All right.
My way.
John.
That's what took so long.
We're trying to do a wedding which has nothing to do with love. Please be quiet.
Do you? I do. Do you?
Fine, you're married. John crashes into this wedding, and this is when the Thurn says to Red Leader, like, just kill her now. Like, do it now. And because helium, the platform falls, it's like pandemonium in there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And he starts fighting, like, bro pulls out a lightsaber. Okay, the Thurn guy, just a full on sword. He manifests. The battle starts. What the frick? Oh, John catches her. She falls off the platform. He's fighting off dudes like crazy.
Well, this is also where John is like, "Oh, you guys, all of the red team is outside and waiting to attack."
Oh, right. He warns them all.
Yeah.
We had no idea until that second. Like he flew over and was like,
He
"Wait, that's
missed
red
that.
team."
He missed that, telling him that.
Oh, that's right. And he's like, we were all watching the wedding. We were busy. Like, but nobody noticed. Who's guarding the wall?
Yeah, why did he look so weak?
Oops.
Yeah.
Kind of weak, you know.
Super weak.
And they're in the red team's palace, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So why wouldn't there be a bunch of red team guys out there?
The Tharks actually do fly in.
Yes.
It's like,
Tharks do fly.
They fly in on the Firefly, dude.
yes, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing comes open, they all fall out. They all puke their guts out,
And then have to fight.
and then they start fighting
Where did they get the ships? Am I where like
from the garage.
Yeah.
They just bloop, bloop, and then this like sand dune opens up. They're just like, yeah, all right.
Willem Dafoe is like, well, we have them. We just don't fly them.
It,
We don't know.
it upsets our alien tummies.
So twice now, John Carter saves Deja by jumping.
Yes.
And I thought, well, was like jumping like the cool in thing in 1912? Like he's
yeah.
like high jump just started. He's like, oh, I'm gonna include this in all my stories. Jumping really high all the time to save people and do
so
stuff.
wasn't Tarzan a leaper
Yeah,
himself?
it was like a leaper pro
swing and
guy.
leap.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a
skill.
swinger.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Bro, new skill just hit the Olympics.
That's right.
Write a book. Yeah, that's right.
Right, and a whole story
We need to
about
promote this thing.
He's sitting there at the 1912 Olympics in
We need to get everybody on board. How do we do
Berlin
it?
or wherever there, and he's sitting there with his hot pretzel, and he sees the first guy,
Pretzel.
his first guy do his long jump, and he just spits out his pretzel all over the place.
The movie, hey, y'all.
The guy in front of him's like,
that
what the
guy?
hell are you doing?
He just leapt 9 feet. I gotta go, and he runs out of there.
I gotta write a
What is
book.
he, a Martian? Wait, I got an idea.
Barsoom, Jassoon, Tharks.
Speaking of Star Wars, he cuts Red Leader's arm off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You are not my father.
That's right. Join me, and the red side will be complete.
Yeah.
No.
I'll never join you.
I hate
If you only knew the power of the ninth ray.
Obi Thark told me.
He told me you killed him.
Too many connections.
Red Leader says, spare me and I'll tell you about the space monks, right?
Yeah.
That's literally what he said because John's about to kill him. Before he can, though, the ninth ray licorice is the dude's head closed, like a mask.
It's like a gusher, dude.
Eats his face, dude.
Like crushes his head. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, it was gross. And then the thing starts creeping up John's arm and covers his face. And you're like thinking he's going to get killed because the dude like keeps shape shifting into different people.
Pretty good.
But he's still got the watch,
He's a good
which
right
never
guy,
broke from the dog.
Yeah.
Well, he had Apple.
Yeah.
How
He got it
does he,
replaced.
Yes.
how does he, I don't have it down here. How does he get out of the blue mask?
Well, he's doing the dial thing on this watch.
Okay.
The bad guy
yeah.
is, who's shaped like a Thark. Or
Yeah.
not a Thark, but what are the green guys?
Yeah.
Walrus.
Yeah, Tharks.
Space Walrus.
Thark.
That's a Thark.
Dark, yeah.
And somebody attacks him, right?
Was the woman?
Does the dog?
Sola?
Yeah.
Or was
Sola or the dog or somebody?
Sola?
No, I think it was Sola.
Okay.
Because I think then
Yes.
they battle.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And so he's able to break out of that. He does get the medallion, but then the dude disappears. Like the Thurn just straight up disappears. And
Yeah, because he keeps
Well,
but he has his
changing
own-
into different people.
Right.
Yeah.
The dad walrus guy.
Oh, he was holding
has the mandala.
that's right.
Yeah, because
He
there's a
always had
lot
Thark.
going on here. There's a
It's
lot
a
of
lot.
fighting.
But ultimately,
Yeah.
the fight kind of stops at this point. And
So-
they're like, we win.
The bad guy shapeshifts into John and gets the medallion
From the
That's where he turns into the girl too, doesn't he? Or is that after this?
No, he does turn into
And
the
then
girl.
she's
Then
like,
she
"Go
says,
get
"Go
me."
get me.
That's
I
such a
thought
stupid
I
line.
love that line. That was hilarious. Go get me.
There's so much happening here.
It was a good switch up, though. I did enjoy because you see John walk up and go, "Give me the medallion," and he hands it to him, and then you see John, the real John,
Yeah.
seeing all this happen, and
You
he's
idiot,
like,
that wasn't me.
"No!"
Right.
Yeah, and then he's like, "No, nope."
But ultimately, he does get the medallion, and the shapeshifter disappears.
Yeah.
And
He just like turns into a puddle almost.
Yeah.
Just disappears. Yeah.
and then everyone's like, "Well, good thing that's over."
That was weird.
Yeah, we don't care. We're not gonna. Is anyone
Investigate.
worried that he's gonna come back?
And John's like,
Yeah.
"Hold on, nothing's over till I get with this chick," and walks over to her. Is like, "What's up? You want to get married?" Like out of nowhere.
I don't want this ring anymore.
My daughter said trauma bonding.
I've heard that relationships that start under extreme circumstances
this
never
is it
last.
right
Right,
here,
It's the
yeah,
speed
yeah.
right here, and they get married on the
right
spot.
there on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, we got this whole wedding venue
We
already
do
booked.
right
Yeah.
here.
We
Might
paid
as well
for
use
it.
it. Forget all the dead bodies laying around and everything.
What if he married the Thurn there and didn't realize it? And he just in the bed that night he's like, "Ha!" And he just like changed back into himself. That'd be terrible.
Leia and Rachel from the Bible? That
Just
would be.
turns into the crying
Right.
game.
Yeah,
That would be some trauma bonding.
She goes, it cuts to her in bed. He's now awake. He can't sleep. She wakes up and goes out to the balcony to see him. And she's like, "You get back into bed in one zact, like XAT, whatever that is."
Yeah.
It's
I
like
turned on the captions as well to try to figure that out.
time increment on Jeff.
Because he says in a moment, and she's like, "You're on Mars in a zac.
in a zact.
Get
Okay, cool.
your verbiage right."
Then,
still
in
learning.
the dumbest decision in the history of decisions, he the pearl of the ocean or whatever the hell that thing was. It was
Yeah.
the chick from Titanic, right? The heart of the ocean.
85 grand.
Chucks it into the
Yes.
Martian desert, the medallion.
She comes out. She's
Well,
like,
I won't need,
Need
this anymore.
Got me a hot Martian chick. Who wants
4
more?
seconds later, he really needed that medallion.
"Didn't it take you 80 years to achieve?" I don't like it
Just
anymore.
attained it.
Because he walks around the corner and there's a third who zaps him back to Earth before he can even realize what's happening. Oh crap, I just threw it up.
He's just like,
Well, and wouldn't it have been a red flag? I mean, you walk out on this porch, and all of a sudden there's a guy there like, "Hey, I just wanted to thank you for saving all of us."
That's right.
"You're a great guy."
How did you get to my porch?
That's not important.
Did you hear anything that was going on?
What's
about
that?
20 seconds ago?
What's that? Boop. Dude wakes up on Earth covered in like dust and dirt. And Bryan Cranston is
on
a skeleton.
How long have I been out? But
That was a
he's
hell of a
able to
dream.
he didn't lose any muscle or anything.
no atrophy.
Just
Get a
like
beard, you got a
cracking
beard.
all his bones.
That's realistic.
That's right. Sure.
The beard thing.
He gets up,
Looks like he just got hit by Sub-Zero.
and then they got to wrap up this whole thing. And so, like, he's saying the words don't work. He realizes
Yeah.
he needs his medallion. So he goes on this huge quest over years and years to find a Thurn.
This is about a 2 hour and 15-minute movie.
Yeah.
This is 15 minutes left of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They cram a whole
So
lot in
much.
here
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the last 15 minutes.
No, for sure.
They're like, we got to button this thing up.
Long story short, he uses Ned as bait. So he makes it seem like he found a medallion in one of these digs. So there's a Thurn following around. That's a Thurn in the bowler hat. And then fakes his own death so that when Ned realizes the code, he can open up the mausoleum because he's got to guard his body so that the Thurns don't destroy it.
But here's the problem. Why would Ned go open the tomb? The whole point is to protect it. It can only be opened from the inside in theory.
Right. So Ned should go, "Oh, everything's fine here," because they obviously haven't
I'm going
opened.
to stay here.
I'll stay here.
and just invite some chicks over because now I'm rich.
Right. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Also, why would the Thurns fall for? They would know there wasn't a medallion where he supposedly found one, right?
Think
Yeah,
so.
it gets kind of sloppy
But
right
whatever.
here. You just go, okay.
You just go, okay, fine.
It's 15 minutes left.
The Thurn comes out to kill Ned, and John is surprised alive and behind him.
Yeah.
Kills the Thurn to get the medallion. The whole thing was a bait job.
It was like a magician trick.
Because how do you hunt down a Thurn? Like, it's actually pretty smart if
Yeah.
the plan works to get a medallion.
And-
Ultimately showing that John is actually really smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though through
When
the
he-
whole
Surprise,
movie
surprise,
he seemed really
surprise.
dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Ned was all hurt. Use me for bait?
Well, no.
Oh, you got to
I mean, you still got to guard my tomb. I got to go in there and
That's
I
really
still got a
important.
big job for you, buddy.
yeah,
That's right.
I got to go in there and say Mecca like a high, Mecca Johnny Ho, and
Seriously.
zip back to Mars.
I would have said, and remember, you're incredibly rich now.
Like filthy rich.
Have you seen the gold dominoes?
Yeah.
You have one job. Never open this
Never
door.
open this again.
You
and
did it
enjoy
once.
the money.
Never do it again.
Never, ever, ever. And so he's
Changing the combination.
he says the words Klaatu, Ferrata, Niktu, and off to Mars. But they don't show him getting back, which
No.
is so annoying.
Yes.
Considering there's
he should
no
reunite
sequels.
with his wife and
But you don't get to that. Just rolls the credits.
But
I
it
waited
does say
till the.
John Carter.
Now, what would be the time frame? Because like he,
It will have been years.
yeah, because
10
he
years.
left 10 years and
Yeah.
he was,
Well,
Bryan
that's how
Cranston
time
was
works
dead.
in telegramming your body to Mars.
I was so annoyed. I waited till the end of the credits just to see if there was
There
going
was
to
a
be a little
secret
like
credit. Yeah, scene.
reuniting
Yeah.
moment with the wife. That's all anyone wanted to see, and they were like, "No, you got to see the sequel." And then it didn't.
happen.
Never happened.
Well, good news, James.
Yes.
The family of Edgar whatever Burroughs is
Yeah.
still trying to find people to make movies.
Oh, cool.
there you go.
Well, hopefully someone will make the second one. Andrew Stanton did release, I think it was an interview. He talked about how the second one was going to start and everyone was going to be expecting this reunion. But because when he gets there, so much time had passed, his wife had actually gone to search for, I don't remember, she had left and had herself disappeared. And so he has to go try to find her. So she's not around to be reunited with.
that could be interesting.
So, yeah. That's how the second one would have started. She's gone and he has to find her. And
They almost had really strong romantic feelings for just knowing each other for like 2 days. Yeah.
real strong. Anyway, that's the movie.
Moving on.
All right, guys. Well, before we dive into awards, we have to see if we can improve John Carter. And the only way to do that, at least in BMR universe land, is by changing the casting. And casting, well, a well-known Austrian actor from the 80s and 90s goes by a name of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Who's that?
Oh, yeah. I have.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, so he's a bodybuilder. He's really cool. If we could stick him in John Carter, I think we definitely get John Carter too.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah, by far. It would be called Total Recall.
I know. I was like, well, they can breathe. This must be after Total Recall. So when did that take place?
Because he was on Mars, right?
Arnold's already fixed the atmosphere here, right?
And that's why he can breathe.
That's why they can all breathe.
And
So-
before The Expanse.
right, because in The Expanse
Or maybe Expanse is before this John
before
Carter.
this, yeah, that makes sense.
I'll explain how you got humans on Mars with blue blood.
Arnold could have easily voiced any of the
Oh, sure.
lizard walruses.
Tharks.
The
Yeah.
Tharks.
I think he should be the bad guy. The bad guy Tark. The one with the one tusk.
That guy.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think it would be really cool, like minus one white ape,
Yeah.
right? Throw Arnold in there. And then he jumps down into the ring and fights John Carter and the rest of his A team.
There we go.
I think that would be cool.
Listen, who would pledge this steel to me? And nobody does? Oh, come on. This is ridiculous.
One of you.
Bunch of babies.
That's right. I'll do it myself.
What about as
Kill
a,
these
what about as
babies.
a Thurn?
Yeah, you could have him be Mark Strong's character.
Yeah.
Bald Arnold like
Yeah.
Mr.
Where
Are you?
Freeze.
You're from Virginia?
That's right. This is your accent is a little bit my accent, your accent. Is it Tennessee? I don't know. Is it California?
I heard they have a great governor.
That's right.
He could be Edgar.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
He always just called me Ned. Of course. I solved the riddle.
That's right.
He just touches it because he's so
N-
tall. It's like
E-
right at his chin height.
D. Use me as bait. Stop it. Jim Teacher Andy says Tardos Moore, aka the old dad general played by Syrian Hines.
Oh, yeah.
While Julius Caesar wasn't bad, Arnold could have given him a little more depth as a truly rundown, aged general. Not often I think of using Arnold for his acting chops, but here his physicality and what he can bring. So Space Dad is what is.
Space Dad.
I could actually see that.
Yeah, maybe.
Listen, you got to get married to him. He's got a fantastic body. Okay, he looks great. He obviously works out. He pumps.
There is no other choice.
That's right. Save my people.
I like the reference of Julian Cairns to.
Is that was
Rome.
he?
He was in Rome. Did you ever see that? Kieran Hines.
He was Julius Caesar.
He was Julius Caesar in Rome.
Interesting. Okay. Devin Milahoff playing along, and he says, just want to tell, James, the proper way to say my last name being Mahailoff.
Hyloff.
Or I can just leave it out. All right, Devin, I'll go with that option. Because I'll forget. Would Arnold actually make this movie better? Maybe. I'm sorry, that's the incorrect answer. If he was casted as the giant white ape.
The white ape too.
He barrels out of the arena gates and comes to John and says, hello, little cutie pie. Look at your tiny little baby arms. Well, big whoop, you can jump really high. But there's nothing can look at my giant pecs. I got 4 biceps and my back. And now you're grounded.
He could make a great dying sound as he's
Yeah.
carving through.
100%.
My tummy.
As he's ripping through it.
Okay, so here we've got Matt Pacini playing along, and he wants Arnold to play Sola. As the other alien is searing that mark on Sola, he just gets up and goes, is it all you've got, you little girly alien? There's no more spots to mark him. You forgot underneath my pecs. So we got Ryan Morency playing along. He says, as much as I'd hate to put Arnold through 2 hours on Barsoom, I'd want him in Tarkus' role. Paint him green and give him a loincloth. So no CGI, it's just Arnold painted green. Just so I can hear him say, jump for me, Virginia. Do it now.
Awesome.
Be awesome.
That sounds like something Arnold might have said in his life.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably. John.
Here we go. Yeah.
Cody Avery says, how funny would it be if Arnold just reprised his role as Quaid from Total Recall after the oxygen got put back, and that being the explanation for John Carter? That's right. All of a sudden, Quaid. He meets Quaid, and Quaid's like, get your ass off Mars.
You're too tiny.
It's ridiculous. And then Jason Smith, our full Dudikofer here, who picked John Carter, says Arnold needs to be John Carter. If only to hear everyone have to pretend that his accent is Southern. Listen to me very carefully. My name is John Carter, and I'm from Virginia. You'd have a whole planet of aliens believing that an Austrian accent is Virginia.
I love it.
That'd be a total meta layer on this movie.
That'd be great.
Also, Jason, thank you sincerely for doing this.
For picking this one. Yeah,
making this
absolutely.
happen.
Fun movie.
All right, guys, let's actually give some awards. We'll start off with the most prestigious one we give out. It's for the actor that had the most intensity imbued in their performance, that even though they were doing this John Carter Disney movie, they acted as hard as they could. It's the Will Patton Award for intensity.
You want a war? I'll give you a war!
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night! And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure
They remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Yeah.
What are you doing with a gun in space?
All right.
Thorn in space.
That's right. What are you doing with an old Western guy in space? Gym teacher Andy kicks us off. He says, Dominic West as Sab Than. While I certainly wouldn't say he was good, he sure took some swings and was in with all his bloodthirsty growling and threats. Honestly, this movie seemed like a lot of people phoned in performances, and he seemed to be trying for all the good it did.
Which one is he?
Red Leader.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, Dominic West was Red Leader. Chuck, how are you feeling about the Will Patton Award?
So last night I was thinking I picked Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
But I realized I just liked his character and his acting. He wasn't particularly intense. So I just was thinking about, when we were going through this, Deja, Lynn Collins, with all her crying and I'm going to be married scene and I don't want to get married. They're just pretty intense in those roles.
There was she's screaming at him and sobbing multiple times. Yeah, I thought she was.
So I'm going to go with her.
All right, that's a good pick, I think.
Patton.
I love it. All right, so it's 1-1 right now between Red Leader and Deja, and Devin comes in and says, I mean, there's not a whole lot to pick from this dumpster fire of a movie. Well, we know how Devin feels about it, but he's going to give it to Dominic West, too. He was the only believable person in this whole thing, and that's saying something. So 2-1 as we head over to Dr. Orion Mattila of Mars.
I'm going to go with Deja as well.
tying it back up.
Nice. Good job. Good pick.
It's the patrons versus the hosts right now.
Here we go.
So you really thought she was dialed in.
Yeah, I liked her performance. All right. Thought it was intense.
She was intense.
Awesome, man. Matt
I liked her
Pacini.
little blue light little activity she did.
Even if Dad doesn't care, I care about you.
Exactly.
I'll give you a hug.
And your corn husk dress.
Matt Pacini comes in and says, this was tough because no one really had it. And also, he's a theme, intensity in this movie. That being said, you might not like my pick, James, but I'm picking Woola. That dog creature had so much intensity, loving and following Carter on. I don't like that pick because it's not an actor. So thank you, Matt, for having that in the notes, but that will not count.
All right.
Curt.
I'm mimicking Chuck.
Yeah?
100%. Because at first, I watched it. I really like William. Man, I'm saying it bad every time. Willem Dafoe. I liked his voice. I thought he was a good voice actor, which I didn't get to see. And then I went, that's probably not the great pick. So I definitely went with the princess.
Yeah.
Deja pulls ahead 3-2.
I liked her in this movie.
Oh, nice, dude. Awesome. Well, look, let's get Ryan Mornsee's vote in here. And he says Mark Strong as Matai Shang.
I could see that.
That dude had a name? I didn't even know he had a name. This dude was cold as ice in every scene. His monologue about Barsoom politics as he walked with Carter was fantastic. It really was well acted. It made you believe he was following a plan that was eons in the making, and this was just another Tuesday for him. Absolutely.
I just feel like he was typecasted.
Yeah, no, I thought Mark...
I mean, he's good.
Acted it phenomenally. I don't know that it was particularly intense,
Yeah.
but his acting is phenomenal. And I totally bought that he was the character he was playing.
Yes.
100%. So kudos. I'll give the guy a shout out for sure. I don't think I'd vote him for this. Cody Avery says, I'm going to give honorable mention to Mark Strong. Going into this, I really thought I was going to give it to him. But after watching the movie, I'm giving my word to Willem Dafoe as Tarkus. I really feel like he brought intensity to his character. So right now, the princess is still in the lead. And before we go to Jason and our full Dudikoff here, I think I'm going to essentially seal the deal here because I thought she was going so hard.
Yes.
Deja, whether it was good or not, I think is up for debate. I personally think it was a good performance, but I could also see why some people would think she crossed the line into melodrama. But whatever, regardless, she went hard.
She did.
All in. And I actually feel terrible what happened to her. Her career was ruined after this movie.
Really?
The week it came out, her agent texted her and was like, you need to disappear for a while, basically, and like stay off the radar. Gosh. And she had... there's an interview out there you can read where she was very unfairly put on her shoulders where Taylor kind of got to keep working pretty quickly. And
She's
interesting.
I loved her in this.
So much better than he did in this movie. But she seemed, from a career standpoint, to take the brunt of...
Well, I think we have to be honest. Most female actors don't have as good careers as men.
No.
Yeah.
They have to pretty limited time.
Right. It's frustrating. But I thought... So I'm glad she's going to win this award. And we'll see what Jason says here for posterity. He said Bryan Cranston as Powell.
Right.
Put an actor as great as him in a small role in this movie is the literal meme of marking a Ferrari in a trailer park. Of parking a Ferrari, in a trailer park. I don't know why he signed on, but he brought peak intensity in all of his scenes. But ultimately, I mean, Lynn Collins is going to win the Will Patton Award.
Lynn.
And so good for her. Some well-deserved recognition.
Yes. That's terrible.
I know, it sucks. I read about it last night.
I literally checked her IMDb after watching this, and I was like, what else is she in? She was good.
Yeah, she's done some other stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like this. Imagine this. You're working so hard for your whole career to make it as an actress, and you're on True Blood, and you're doing this other stuff, and you're working your way up, and then you get the lead in what's going to be a tentpole Disney movie.
That's the beginning.
And you're like,
A $300 million movie.
I am on my way. Here we go. And it just falls out from underneath.
That's rough.
Yeah. That's got to be horrible.
It's a fickle business,
That's
that
right.
Hollywood thing. That's why I never went that direction. I didn't want that insecurity in my life.
That's why.
I needed a little more dependence. Like,
really? That's why you're single, huh?
The next award we give out is for people that didn't have a good acting performance. Those who have the emotional and acting range of a trash can full of dirt. It's the Steven Seagal Trash Can Full of Dirt Award.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt, yeah.
Love never dies, and neither do they. Love is eternal, and that's a long time.
It is, Steven. This movie was a long time. I made the joke to Chuck earlier. I was like, about 3 hours in, halfway through this movie, I paused it to make sure, see how much time was left. It felt long.
Oh, yeah.
It had its
To me.
slow movements.
100%. I agree with you.
Bit. All right, Andy's kicking us off again, and he says Taylor Kitsch as Virginia Slim John Carter. Having watched him recently at American Primeval, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's really good. It's a Western show. Forgotten just how bad he used to be. Just boring with the same face, same voice, same man delivery the whole time. I didn't care and could tell he was acting at tennis balls on sticks. Whew, Taylor Kitsch.
What does that mean, tennis ball?
So when you're on a green screen and you're talking to lizards, it's literally like a tennis ball on a stick that you're trying to emote to.
Gotcha.
It's hard,
That
but
sounds
really good actors can pull it off.
Yeah.
Chuck?
Okay, so I don't think any of them were terrible in this movie, honestly.
yeah.
So I thought actually pretty solid performances all the way around. So in that sense, I think that was interesting. I actually am going to go with Dominic West of Sobthon.
Yeah.
I did not think he was great. When I went back, I'm like, I couldn't even tell him apart from the other three people that were in the movie looked just like him.
Yeah.
So that probably stands out as maybe not being great acting.
Where was he again?
He had some intensity, but it wasn't like, it was kind of like just over the top. He didn't have any character depth or anything either.
100%.
So I'm going with him on that.
I was surprised he got a couple of votes because I thought it was kind of a blah performance from him myself too. All right, cool. Well, Devin comes in and says this movie could have just been played by trash cans and it'd be full of because it would still be full of crappy actors. So I just have to give my trash to Taylor Kitsch. He wasn't very believable in anything he was doing, and talking in a low, gravelly voice doesn't make you cool and mysterious when you're surrounded by aliens. Who are you trying to be cool to? The alien dog? Nice one, Devin.
Nice.
Mattila.
Okay. Not to be the same as you, but I'm going to also go with Dominic West. The problem I have with him as an actor in general is he has his wicked smirk, and that's really the only thing he has going for him.
Yeah.
That's what he does in every movie is he does the wicked smirk, and he's like, see, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah. Or I'm just a chill guy. Like, I didn't believe him in that scene
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
I'm just a chill guy.
All right, let's do the two at the turn here. Matt Pacini says, trash can, oh, trash can. Who am I going to pick? There are way too many. I could pick the obvious Santa with muscles, but that's too easy. Should it be the Princess Deja? Should it be Mark Strong? No, it's going to have to be Taylor Kitsch
This
as
is so
John
funny.
Carter.
Wow. They hate him.
It's
They hate
literally, yeah.
I usually like him in movies, but he was so bland and boring. 3-2 right now. And Ryan Morency says he's going Daryl Sabra as Ned.
Oh,
This-
I liked Ned.
This guy had one look, and it wasn't blue steel. Constant deer in the headlights. I'm not sure he added one thing to a scene he was in. I'm not even sure he was breathing.
Ouch.
Dang.
Wow, that's rough.
That was good, Ryan. I think Ryan's in the running here
burn,
for
good burn.
Best Awards of the Show award. So, Curt.
I'm jumping on the non-Patreon train. I'm going with BMR. I'm doing the bad guy.
Brett Leader.
Interesting.
Literally,
3-3.
what do we say all the time?
Oh, dude.
You're only as good as your bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this
Yes.
movie, like, it couldn't pick between Strong and this guy. And Strong's good, but I still felt like he was typecasted.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, all right, I've seen this before. You know,
There's not
so
going to be an
I-
epic battle either between
right.
them.
So I'm like, I don't really see the bad guy as being as cool as everyone kind of like. He just didn't do anything for me.
Especially because he has to be a strong enough leader to give Helium fear.
Right,
And he
right.
looks like he's just a puppet. Like no one would
Exactly.
believe. And there were points where he was a puppet. He's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't try to kill the girl. Hey, maybe you should do this.
Yeah,
We're
and
gonna
it's like
kill
they
him.
held him back.
He
There was
didn't
that
have any-
moment
he
where
didn't
he's
have
like,
any, his
"Oh,
own
this is
character."
cool. I want to
Yeah.
be able to use
I
this
want
thing."
to use the toy.
Yeah, he was
they
kind of a
didn't let him.
whiny guy too. Yeah, I hate. My wife said, "Yeah, you hate whiny."
That's right.
Bad guys.
Do you hate like Luke Skywalker too then?
Well, he's whiny, but he's a good
Super
guy.
whiny.
Whiny good guys are okay.
Oh,
because they
alright.
get stronger. I hate whiny bad guys like in Interview with a Vampire. I don't want to be a vampire. I'm gonna suck rats. I don't want to be a vampire. That's the one movie I really like Tom Cruise in because
Yeah?
Lestat was all in on that
Yeah,
bad boy.
he
Talk
was.
about Will Patton,
Yeah.
baby. Let me kill everything in sight and make little girls vampires.
He
Even
doesn't
I'm
give
a
a
crazy
crap.
man.
Cody Avery comes in and says, Taylor Kitsch. His
gosh.
line delivery killed me, and I felt like he was struggling to keep up with everyone else.
What are we,
acting
4-3 now?
Wow.
4-3.
Yeah,
Till
Taylor's
James
ahead.
gets to say.
You
Interesting.
know who I'm going to pick because I already said
Yeah,
I hated his
know.
performance.
Yeah.
No.
I'm with the patrons
Oh my
on this one.
goodness.
Taylor Kitsch was bad in this.
Nice.
Sure, he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's doing well now. I haven't seen American Primeval yet. I hear great things about it, but this was not it. It was so one. I'm John Carter, and I can fight your war because I'm too cool. Hold on, let me get my hair in my face.
squint your eyes a little
My
harder.
eyes a little harder.
That's all he
It
had
was
to do.
Bad. It was bad.
I thought he was entertaining enough.
I didn't even notice
I didn't think he
anything
was
bad.
bad.
I don't
He
know.
wasn't great, but he wasn't bad.
It was fine enough.
Yeah.
5-3 now. It's too late. But Jason says Lynn Collins is Deja.
Ooh.
From the moment she came on screen, I didn't buy her acting job. She vacillated between overly dramatic and extremely whiny. While her attempt at a British accent, she's from Texas, for God's sake. She was Prince of Thieves level bad. I think, now that said, there was a couple times she yelled in a British accent. I'm like, I don't think she's a native British, just based on that. But I did like her.
Let's just be honest. She's from Mars.
Yeah.
So what's he talking about? British
It's
and
a Marsh
Texas? No
accent.
such thing. It's a Martian.
It's a Barsoom accent.
Yeah.
Of the red people or whatever.
Vacillated?
Sure. But it doesn't matter. That means that Taylor Kitsch is going to win
Let's go back and forth.
Yeah, I see.
trash can full of dirt.
I usually do that when I'm sick and I got the flu. I put a little Vaseline on my chest.
There we go.
I've been vacillated.
I'm vacillated.
All right. The next award we give out is because we want to give some praise and attention to people that had very little screen time. And so this is the Bixby Snyder One Scene Wonder Award.
Oh no! It's boiling acid! I'd buy that for $1.
There is some kind of bug that we haven't seen yet.
Okay, USA.
Paper! I've never seen paper!
Frankly, I find the idea of a bug that thinks offensive.
Prepare to die, Powers!
So he hid it. In one place he knew he could hide something, his ass.
All right. Some people have one scene, and that's all they need to make a memorable impact. And so we'll see what's going to happen here. Gym teacher Andy kicks us off and goes, this one was easy. Space Dog. Well, Space Dog, Andy,
False.
does not qualify for this award.
He was
But
also in way more than one scene.
looks like Andy is still a few episodes behind. No worries, brother. The award has changed. So it's still 0 clean board over there for Chuck.
This was hard for me
It's hard.
because I don't know if I remember any one-scene people in this movie.
Well, as I've always said,
It's not-
maybe 2.
Maybe. Okay,
like
so-
just the idea, the spirit of it is a small amount of
okay,
screen.
if this qualifies, I'm going with Cranston.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Because he was funny in his role, like his cut scenes and the blood, like you said, and
It's pretty much one scene.
he's like talking to him, trying to
Yes.
convince him, and then he just gets away, and then
because he runs out there in the one building. He run. I would say that's one scene.
one sort of series of scenes.
Yes.
But I would go with Cranston. I thought he was great in the role that he did.
Awesome. I love it. I think that 100% qualifies. All right, let's see what Devin had to say. My unsung hero award would go. He's still calling it the unsung hero award. My Bixby Snyder One Scene Wonder Award goes to Don Stark as Dix the Storekeeper.
Nice.
I was very surprised that Bob from That 70s Show showed up and was denying Captain Mars from buying stuff in his shop, but he was doing a service by denying Captain Mars and getting gold after he gets arrested. Perfect.
That was a good
vote
choice.
there. That's a good choice, too.
yeah.
Who you got over there for me, Mattila?
I'm going with Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
You have good taste,
I
Charles.
Lockstep every single time.
They always say we sound like each other.
Yeah.
We think like each other. Great minds.
Yeah, no one's
Yes.
going to have a clue who's talking this
Yeah,
whole
that's
episode.
okay.
It's true.
That's all right. All right.
Might be
Just
better
remember-
for my career.
Chuck just has a better sounding voice than I do.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know about that.
All right, so Chuck, well, let's see who's it. We got Matt Pacini coming in here and says, I'm also going to pick, I was going to pick between the nephew Edgar, but I feel like he was in like 2 or 3 scenes. So I'm going to go with the great Bryan Cranston as
All right.
Powell. He was great in his short scene, and I thought he played a great skeleton when John came back. Yes.
Skeleton.
I love
the correct
it.
No
answer.
bones about it.
I love it, man.
nice.
That's awesome, dude. All right. Well, we got one more before we make the turn. Sorry. Ryan. My God, I can't keep these straight. Ryan Morency comes in and says, I feel like Bryan Cranston had too much screen time. He didn't. So I'm going Don Stark. Loved seeing him as Dix, the shopkeeper, from stealing Hulk Hogan's wallet and sandalwood muscles. Hi, Joe. To selling John his plethora of beans on the frontier.
The beans.
He's committed.
He was. That's a good choice.
All right. So we got 3 for Cranston. I think he's still in the lead 3-2 as we make the turn around the table to Curt.
I was actually enjoying the right-hand man for the blue team, the helper the king. We kind of made a comment about how he was like the comic relief.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that counts because there was
The
like
guy who took
2 or
himself
3
hostage?
scenes he was in, but to me, he was funny.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I enjoyed his scenes, and they made me laugh. And I'm like, why isn't this guy in the movie
I think
more?
he was in he was one featured scene, and every other scene he was in, I don't think he
Background
spoke.
kind of.
Background.
So do you count that
Sure,
because
I'd
he
say that's
technically
fine.
That's the
didn't
guy that
speak?
took himself hostage, right?
Yes,
That was
yeah,
great.
I love that scene.
That was
James
That was great.
Purvoy.
He played that well. Yeah.
Nice.
He did good.
All right, Cody comes in and says Don Stark as
Wow.
the storekeeper. He pulls his gun on in the beginning of the movie. Love it. All right, so it's 3-3 now, tied between. I already forgot who you guys voted for.
Cranston.
Cranston
Bryan
and
Cranston.
Don Stark.
Isn't that
as
Powell?
the store-
I think his
Powell.
name
Yeah,
is.
Powell.
And I'll save mine here to see what happens with Jason. Jason says, Dusty Sorg as the twitchy corporal. My man hears someone speaking Indian and waits all of a minute before deciding that shooting him is the safest choice. Out of all the casts, I feel like he really embodies the spirit of the Army during the Old West.
Awesome.
Wow.
Got some blankets for you.
That's a literal Dixie, Dusty,
So-
whatever.
If it falls to me to break the tie, I'm going with Bryan Cranston.
All right.
I thought his scene was great. I don't know how he ended up in this movie. I'm like, how did we get him to do this one part? You know what I'm saying? Are you okay over there?
Yeah, I caught what Mattila said. He said, here's some blankets for you, and it made me laugh.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's rough.
All right. Well,
But
congratulations. Not to that, what's happened, but to Bryan Cranston winning the Bixby Snyder One Teen Wonder Award.
Have you seen The Infiltrator?
No.
That's with Bryan Cranston.
Okay.
That's a good movie.
Is
You
it?
get- You should watch that. I think it's on Tubi.
Well, the time has come, gentlemen, to
It's on
render
Tubi, I watch it.
our final. You love Tubi.
Frankenhooker.
Is that one day? we'll
That's
do
a
it.
good one.
I
That's
watched
a good one.
That's
And
an
Space
I
Truckers.
forgot
We gotta
about
do
that one.
Space Truckers too.
We have to do Space Truckers.
Yeah, yeah.
And well, we got one coming up that we've been waiting to do for a while too. All right, it's time to land the plane though, guys. So we have to parse through this. This is a complicated movie as far as my feelings go on it, but I'm interested to see where everybody else landed. We're going to kick things off with Andy and see what he had to say ultimately about this movie. I tried, y'all. I really tried to give this a fair shake, but it committed the worst crime a bad movie can. It was boring. That's true, Andy. I'm not saying it's true it was boring, but that's the worst crime a movie can make. You could tell they spent money on it. It felt like they had lots of producer notes added in. Good Lord, it just kept going, and I kind of zoned out. Bad movie for me, partially just due to his powers of jump high only worked part of the time. If I had gone schlockier and been cheaper looking or goofier, then, it's a more bloody action. I probably would have liked it more. Also, here's my watcher's note to the producers. If you're trying to cast a female love interest, don't make me constantly question if her eyes are too close together the entire time. Ooh, jeez. I will forget about everything else in your movie and focus only on that.
That's not fair.
Thanks for all you do, and may your jumping powers actually be constant. Can't wait for the next one. Gym teacher Andy. Shots fired at Deja, the princess. As we head over to Chuck, you have the floor, bud.
This is where I think it's good to come on the show and talk it through. Because last night after it, I'm going, there's huge high production value in this. My struggle with this movie is I think one of the reasons why we think it's boring and don't like it is that it's tropey. But then I'm like, it's not quite fair because all of this stuff was original. Like Robert Zemeckis even said, he turned down, this was from IMDb, Robert Zemeckis turned down the chance to direct, quipping, George already pillaged all of this with Star Wars.
He said that?
Yep. So the reality is he's not totally wrong. I mean, we're making jokes about that, but there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of stuff that you see that goes on after this in science fiction and action and all these is kind of maybe from here, right? A lot of stuff, or at least themes and stuff.
But by the nature of its timing.
But it comes out in 100 years after it was all made. If this movie really was made in 31, it would be like foundation. It would be everyone would.
Then Star Wars comes out and you're like,
Right.
well, they just redid John Carter.
Right.
That being said, so originally I was thinking, okay, it's a good movie. I'm gonna go though. I think the best I could do is bad movie that rules.
Because if you enjoyed it subjectively.
I think I'm one of those guys. I really like The Postman.
Me too.
And Waterworld. I think this probably is a bad movie though.
Oh, is that where you're going to land? Straight up?
I don't have that in my notes, but I'm
Well,
thinking about
but
it
if
going,
you-
it really is pretty boring. Like I saw this in 12.
Yeah.
I remembered none of it.
Well, the second
except,
half
like,
of the rating
scenes.
is more about how you feel about it, right? So
I
if
think
you
I could
enjoyed
go the rest of my life without ever watching this again.
Oh, well then, yeah, maybe you're right.
That being said, my teenage daughter watched the whole movie with me.
All right. Did she enjoy it?
She did. I'm going bad movie rules.
All right. Hey.
There you
Bad
go.
movie.
There we go.
We got there in the end.
We got
Got him.
Got him.
reel him back in.
I love it. Devin, let's see what his final thoughts were. He says, I I take craps better than this movie. Oh, geez. This movie is poorly acted with the main character not being interesting at all, as well as the fact that originally he wanted to go home and then gets in the middle of a war and then just stays anyway for some princess booty. I guess anything to become a crappy superhero on a different planet. Bad movie, full stop. Devin, throughout his whole awards, didn't mix his words. We knew where he was.
Let's just be honest. Look, every one of us would kill to be a superhero on an alien planet.
100%.
And get princess.
100%.
Yeah, man.
I'd kill to be a superhero on this planet.
I'd take my wife and
yeah.
kids with me. But I would totally want to be a superhero.
It's like I could go back and be a poor cowboy,
Yeah.
or
Hear me out.
I stay here in this palace with
Yeah.
this hot princess,
Yeah.
and I am a superhero.
Superhero. Gee, let me think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right, when you say it like that, I suppose a little more obvious. Mattila.
I saw this, we said like 2015-ish, maybe a little before then. And I really enjoyed it. And I came back to it, and I still really enjoyed it.
All right.
I had so much fun watching this movie both times that I've seen it. I didn't notice any of the stuff we called out during the show here while I was watching it. And even if I watched it again, I don't think I would. I think this is a straight up good movie.
Wow.
I loved this movie.
All right.
Wow.
I've been waiting to do this movie on the show.
Look at that. You love Jason
I was
then.
so scared that I was going to hate this movie watching it again.
No, well, now
But
you
I
can
loved it, man.
Release all that.
All right,
Yeah.
I like it.
I thought it
It
was
holds
great.
up. That's great, dude. Matt Pacini comes in. Okay, look. There was a reason they didn't make a second movie. The acting was bad, except a couple actors. The script was okay. The CGI was decent for the time. Overall, was it a great movie? No, but it wasn't the worst. So I'm going bad movie. That rules. I enjoyed it overall. All
There
right,
we go.
Matt. Well, it's no Temple of Doom. He hates that movie. So,
What?
Yeah, this is the guy that goes by Temple of Doom sucks.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
And then we got
You're not allowed shopping here anymore, sir.
Ryan Morency says, boy, howdy, has it been fun listening to James try to pronounce all these Mars words from the city of Zedanga to the baby farmers markets held by the Thark every third Saturday of the month.
Knows how this is going to go.
The baby farmer market.
I feel like the amount of awkward sci-fi names they threw out it has ruined it a bit for me. Like Jon Favreau. I'm glad my interaction with this movie was limited. It's 2 hours of eye candy, but empty calories. Good movie that sucks.
Whoa.
How do you say mise en scene on Mars? As always, thanks for having me on. I think Ryan here is going to win the Best Awards of the Show award. Nice job. Yeah.
Do you know his allusion to Favreau? Favreau made a cameo in this, voice cameo.
Oh, did he?
In the scene where they're taking bets on who's going to win the battle between Zedanga and Helium, that was Favreau.
Was that I had no idea.
IMDb, that's what it was.
It went right over my head.
Yeah, I had no
was
idea.
Like, all right, cool. Curt, what are your final thoughts on John Carter?
Well, I had a really hard time with this movie. It bounced around a lot. I had a hard time following. But it looks cool.
It does.
There's a lot of cool animation. The acting really wasn't that bad for me, but I was bored out of my mind with this movie. I think this is going to be my first ever good movie that sucks.
Wow.
Because I am never watching this again.
Oh.
But it looked cool. I was kind of on board at certain times, and I'm like, oh, that was cool. And there was some funny moments, but it's just not enough to keep me watching it. So, good movie that sucks.
The only rating that hasn't been thrown out yet so far, it almost happened, was bad movie straight up. But it's otherwise sprayed
didn't the
across
first
the
guy
whole
say
thing.
bad movie?
No, did he? He did.
Yeah.
So you're right. We've had all 4 possible ratings already.
This is like diarrhea,
Still
man.
3 people left.
It's
to go.
everywhere.
It's just running all over the
It's
place.
all over this place. Well, let's see what Cody Avery had to say. He said, I feel like this movie definitely had some issues. Full disclosure, I've never read any of the books, so I'm not familiar with all the source material. I kind of like the immersion into the world with all the space mumbo jumbo. And see, this guy liked all the made up words and phrases, but I don't know how accurate the screenplay is to the series. I'm going to say bad movie that rules, but only by the slimmest of margins. All right, Cody. Interesting.
And I'll take on that, whether it aligns with the books or not.
Yeah, I have
never read or know anything
That's a good
about.
point. I have no idea.
I don't know if I care about it.
I don't read.
I'll leave our
1912's too Fargo.
I don't know that I
Fargo,
care. Yeah.
Fargo.
I can't wait for that movie.
I'll let Jason Smith have the final word since he was the full Dudikoff here. And here's what I'll say. I enjoyed the crap out of this movie.
Did you really?
I did.
For the right reasons?
I think I said I was so invested in their love story that I waited till the end of the credits just
That's
to
true, you
see
did
if
say
they
that.
would
I
get back
did catch
together.
That's funny.
I was all in, boys.
Yes.
All in.
I like that you're all into the romantic aspect too.
Yes,
That's so
I
funny.
am furious that we'll never see this happen.
You're major painting it right now.
am.
You're so mad that they
I'm
didn't end up
so
together.
mad.
And there was no touch base
They
on
didn't
it.
close the loop.
We definitely got blue balled on
That's
this.
not the movie's fault. That's not the movie's fault. They were going to make
Yeah.
a whole series of films. This is a straight up good movie. It's a good movie objectively. I don't understand why it's critically panned. I think it's good enough on all the metrics that makes a good film. And I enjoyed the crap out of it. So I'm saying it's good that's good. This should have been at least a trilogy. I'm mystified as to why this movie bombed. It's got to be Taylor Kitsch. The only thing I didn't like the movie was the main character, but he was good enough. I just thought he was a bad actor. If they had cast anybody,
But you believe his love story?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Bryan Cranston. If they had cast Ryan Gosling, I'm going to say this just to make you mad. Anybody, just somebody that the audience knew. I think it makes enough money.
I don't disagree with that. I think you're right about that. I think
that's the big mistake.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. I think he could have pulled it off.
You know what else could have pulled it out?
Well, hang on.
Okay.
I think, as I said in my thing, I think it feels derivative,
Yeah.
but it's the source.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to do that. I think that's why the critics look at it and they go, this has been done before.
Yeah.
But that's not fair to it, I think.
All right.
So that's where I put it. That's really close to good movie to me, too. Because I think production quality and acting.
I get it. What do you think could have pulled it out?
So you needed a better bad guy,
Yeah.
and you didn't need to fix what is his name? The
John Carter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't need to fix John Carter's character because look at Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Mark Hamill didn't he pulled off he was supposed to be whiny, but
Yeah.
he wasn't the greatest.
No.
But you had Han Solo.
Yes.
Right. So you
They don't have
need
that
a
guy.
Han Solo and you need a Darth Vader for this.
Something like that. But I will still say if they had cast a well-known guy,
Sure.
it makes
Tom Cruise wanted this movie.
Really?
bro. How much money do you want to make?
Oh, man.
Tell me that would
That would have been like a $1 billion movie.
right. So I think the big mistake here was going with Taylor Kitsch and pinning their wagon wheel to him and saying this is the guy that's going to take us there. That was a mistake.
I think I read the director wanted to do that.
Yeah,
He didn't
and
want to go with huge names.
and that was I think ultimately what sunk their ship here because you can't spend. It's a risk enough to go with no names at the time relatively to giant franchises, and pin $300 million of risk on no names essentially.
That's a lot of gold
That's
dominoes.
a lot, dude. So I think that's what, but I think it's ultimately good. Let's see what Jason had to say. He says Disney did this movie no favors. Terrible marketing strategy. It was released 2 weeks before Hunger Games. So in 2 weeks, no matter how it did, sales were going to plummet. It had flaws of its own. The romance between Carter and JJ felt forced. I don't agree. Taylor decided that Carter could only be moody or angry, and the ending suffered from some major Game of Thrones travel shenanigans. That's true. But I really like this movie. I like the action. It had some funny moments. It stayed pretty faithful to the source material, which is always a good thing. I think the people who saw it went into it biased because of all the negative publicity. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's true.
And stories instead of giving it a fair chance. To me, this is a bad movie that rules, and I'm disappointed we'll never get to see a sequel. I think that's a real thing that happens all the time, that people, either by critics or media of troubled productions or whatever, it poisons people before they ever see a movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that absolutely
Yeah, because you're
happened
going in
with
looking
John
for all the
Carter.
flaws, which you wouldn't. I mean,
That happened to Waterworld?
Yeah, the acting on this movie wasn't any better or worse than any other action movie you've ever seen.
100%.
It's just was there all these problems and everything. I wonder
Right.
too if Mars is a problem.
That
Because
too.
we all know there's nothing like this on Mars, right? You put it in a galaxy far, far away, anything can happen, right?
Put it on planet.
But I'm thinking about
Yeah.
this going, this is dumb. There's nothing like this on Mars. Like, we can look at the sky.
If he would have been like, I'm in a different galaxy.
Yes, I think it's true. You put him on a planet we can't really see
Right.
even.
Otherwise, there's a dude in Kentucky with a
Seriously.
telescope. He's
Yeah.
like, you got to come see this.
Yeah, right. I seriously think that in 1912,
There's a hot princess up there.
1912, that was still possible.
Oh, sure,
Right?
yeah.
She likes people from Virginia.
Well, guys, it's time for us to ride off. Is it dual moon sets on Mars? Right?
Do we just telegraph off?
We'll just telegraph off because we got to go talk about another movie. We got
off.
The Wizard Crew coming in here next weekend. So Mattila will be back 2 weeks in a row here. That means that Joe and Jenna are also going to be back because we're talking about a little video game movie from 1993 called Super Mario Brothers.
Ooh,
the Bob Hoskins one.
Nice.
John Leguizamo.
Fun trivia.
Yes.
What do you think Mario says?
It's a me?
Yeah, it's not it's a me though. It's not it's a me, like it's me. Yeah. He's not saying that. He's saying it's a me, which means super in Japanese.
I thought he's saying it's a me, Mario.
That's what everyone thinks.
With an Italian.
Yeah, but he's actually saying Super Mario. Yeah, he's actually saying Super Mario. In Japanese.
Cool. I didn't know that. I was like,
you seem super interested in this.
I'm Italian.
I'm totally gonna talk ever again. Thanks.
I like a spaghetti.
I'm playing right along with it. All right, join us next week for some Super Mario Brothers. In the meantime,
I'll be there, but I'll be silent.
Thank you to Ryan. Thank you to Curt. We'll see you on the next one. It's Mars. Because I got thrown off by your pointing at me. I was going to say something. You're like,
you go. That's what I'm doing.
I thought you were going to go. And then I'm going. So I'll just fall back on the one I know. Chisholm.
John Carter.
Where he telegraphed.
He rode on a green lizard. John Carter.
He fought the white apes.
Into the west. I mean, Mars.
The fourth planet from the sun.
So you're
riding on a lizard, and you got the green hatchlings with you.
John Lizard.
Nice.